what its purpose actually is still kind of unknown, because you never know what the apparatus, or it could be just regular medicine. Unless you're able to get it tested or checked for toxins,
I'm
you're
gonna
kind of in the black.
I'm
What up?
gonna grab. I'm gonna take it back, and we should take it back to the alchemist back there. The guy who has the shop. He said he's been studying alchemy for about a decade. He could probably identify this,
Or he made it.
or he made it. But I'm pretty good at finding out if people are lying to me.
Bag it for now. Let's continue the
I think we
investigation
should,
here.
Yeah, let's check out the tree.
Oh, it's
It is
suspicious.
now
What's going
about
on?
9ish in the morning.
We're cruising.
But he sees this in the evening, like at dusk, right?
Yeah, you would see the ghost come across the lake at probably about 4:35 p.m.
Oh, okay. So we've got a while. So yeah, see if this tree can maybe make the shadow that could cross.
Well,
Or if there's any sign of like somebody stands here and like casts anything or something that could.
All right, those of you who are wanting to investigate the tree for weird things, roll me either investigation or perception.
On my way there, I also want to take like a scabbard of a longsword I have,
Mm-hmm.
prod the ground, see if maybe I could push something up as I go.
Sure. That would also be investigation. You're using those special senses of yours.
I'll do both.
All right. So, Latte, as you're poking things, you don't find anything on your way to the tree, but at the tree you find a patch of what would essentially be described as loose soil near the base.
I use my foot to try to push it to the side, see what's there.
It just seems to be more dirt beneath it, but it doesn't seem to be as compacted as the rest of the soil that's around the tree. Like it's been moved recently.
Somebody's been digging here.
Mm.
I'm even gonna say that out loud. Somebody's been digging. There's something here.
All right. Anyone else want to do perception or investigation
Yeah.
as Latte is finding?
I investigated
I
for
see.
17.
All right. I see your roll, Myth. Nate. So what were you specifically looking for? Just any kind of point if someone was like casting something near the tree at that time?
Yeah. Anything that would be like someone comes here and stands frequently. I mean, if he's seeing this repeatedly at night, then maybe someone's leaving tracks or signs of them being here frequently. Anything like that. Yeah, anything like that.
So you don't see anything of tracks. You do find one patch of grass on the other side of the tree near the water body that seems to be relatively worn down, as if someone just stands there for long periods of time and not moving. It's hard to tell how long they stand, but the grass is flattened and worn. But there are no tracks leading from anywhere, just that one specific set of deepened footprints.
And anything like directly above that spot on the
Open
ground?
sky. Any on the ground, there isn't any kind of components. There's no like anything interesting item wise. It just seems to be a spot where someone stands for some period of time at some point of day.
But there's no tracks leading there or away. Okay. That's weird. I'll share that with I'll point it out and share it with the group.
That is definitely weird.
Anyone else want to do investigation perception?
I got a nat 1, but it was a 7 total.
I think I have a
So-
specialty in that.
Hey, you can roll for it, Zeb, regardless.
In the senses?
See what happens.
Jesus, Arya, how high is your intelligence?
In the senses or just in the skills?
In the skills, it's in perception or investigation, whichever one floats your canoe.
I rolled a perception.
What doth happen? And I'm waiting for Beyond. Damn! Alright, so Zara, when you went to help investigate with Nate, you helped him find where the point stood. You kind of pointed out that grass probably wouldn't keep track super well. But you do happen to step on something he could have found. You kind of scrape it off your foot a little bit. You're like, yeah, gross.
Gross.
Is it poop?
No, it is not poop.
Oh.
You thought it was poop. It is
I
not
step
poop.
it in something and then I show him my foot.
What did she find?
It
What
looks
did she
like
step in?
ash. Like just a very distinct pile of ash.
Ooh.
Okay.
From what? You may never know.
I probably won't ever know.
Who knows? Quite.
The world.
And then Zeb, as you're kind of moving around the tree, you're putting your big old thinking cap on.
Ooh.
And you just like feel your brain power encapsulating. And you find a singular worn handprint on the side of the oak tree that faces the water. Like it's almost as if someone had taken their hand, put it against the tree, and pushed it into the bark of it, where it is a very clear indentation of a hand.
Obviously, this hand is smaller than mine, right?
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
Is there anyone there that would have a hand sort of the same size as it to indicate what creature or human possibly put it there?
I think anyone in the party minus Nate, because Nate now has dwarf hands.
It's true.
Real meaty finger boys,
Real-
you know.
Just big old meat hooks.
We should arm wrestle
everyone
to
else
see who
could
has
probably-
bigger arms.
Please no. But anyone else could probably take a look-see and kind of gauge. Do you ask the party to
I'm-
assist?
Well, I make this observation and I call everyone over to look at it because it's out of the ordinary.
Excuse me. Oi, dust.
So basically, guys, there's a handprint here. It's a good indication that something spooky happened here, especially because it was pointing towards the lake.
There, to clarify, there is no ground underneath that handprint. It is just water. So it's not like someone could stand there and do it. They would either have to use magic or be a ghost.
Obviously,
something
because
similar.
where they said someone had to walk across the water.
And Chuckles did point out that this is the end point that he usually sees
The people
the ghost,
disappear.
the spooked person.
Gotcha. Would anyone be curious enough to put their hand in to see what happens?
Fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I would.
I mean, I
Step
can't
right
reach it
up,
'cause-
step right up. Who's gonna be the lucky number one person to try it out? Anybody?
So, Cactus, you walk up to it. Your hand's a little too big for it, just like a half inch, if that, along the fingers. But nothing happens. It just feels cold. Like the handprint itself is a specifically different temperature than the bark that is around it.
Like that.
Zarya, if you try, it's the same thing. It's your hand's a little bit closer to the size, but it is also very cold to the touch.
I'll try.
Same.
I'll try.
Yeah, cast same for you. Your hand kind of fits in it. The handprint's a little bigger than yours by maybe like a quarter of an inch, but it again is also very cold to the touch.
Kitku, did you feel any like druid voodoo when you touched the tree?
I don't know. Did I?
It's a very tingly sensation.
You felt a very cold sensation, but it seemed to be in your druidic knowledge of what limited knowledge you have at this point in time. It definitely points towards spooky nonsense happening, but you feel as if it has to do with this lake, and you're not entirely sure what. And after you kind of step back and you're kind of thinking about it, Latte points out that they found a loose patch of dirt underneath the tree where they were standing.
Somebody's been digging here.
Somebody get buried here.
Possibly.
How big is this patch of dirt?
I'll map it out real fast using a blade.
It's
Well, the scabbard
it's
to draw lines.
it's not a massive patch. It's definitely a few inches, probably closer to about an 8x8 square, roughly.
8 inch or 8 foot?
8 inch, not 8 foot.
Okay, I
8
was like,
inches by 8 inches. No, it's
Okay.
not a big patch. It's enough that it wouldn't be noticed unless someone was specifically looking for it.
Does anyone have a spade?
I have big meat claws that can dig.
He does have meat claws.
I think a spade might be better, but yeah, we could try those.
Shovels are for losers. Hands all the way.
Yes.
Give
I-
me.
I know
Just
it's
roll me a
not
d20,
something.
Zeb.
I got
Just roll me a standard d20.
carpenter tools as a tools.
Nah, don't want
I
to
don't
dirty
think
those.
there's
It's gross.
anything that would help. Yeah.
Yeah, shovels are part. You said a D20?
Yeah, just a regular d20. Nothing added to it. No fluff.
Frick.
Be bottom left on the dice symbol. You can click that. Pick your standard dice.
Got it. Oof. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
All right, cool. This was basically to see if an oopsie table happened. An oopsie table does not happen. So you basically just kind of take your ham hocks. You pull apart the dirt relatively easily. You go about, I don't know, 8 to 10 inches down into the roots beneath the tree. And you pull out a singular finger bone with a ring on it.
Oh. Shiny.
But
Exactly.
yeah,
You think?
yeah. So yeah,
Is this
you
cause for me to panic?
probably in your druid brain you are not feeling super great about this situation.
I kind of just used the finger bone as like a toothpick real quick. I needed something
Why?
small and
What?
precise to get that last little bit out between, the old hunkers.
We should
Oh
probably
god,
get the
Zeb,
guards
I love that
involved.
you're a method actor with this. You're like, I'm just gonna be a full orc, guys. I'm just gonna be orking all the way through.
I've been looking for something like this to get that
Oh,
one little
love it.
piece of meat.
That little nacho chip between the teeth from last night.
Oh yeah, by the way, guys, here's a ring. Sorry, I don't want to make sure I don't swallow it.
I'm gonna take a ring and take a close look at it.
I got what I
I'm
need.
recovering. I'm
How
recovering.
decayed is this center?
It's a skeleton finger bone. Like
Oh,
it's
gone.
there's nothing on it. It is just bone with the ring on it.
Oh, what'd you think I would put like actual meaty finger in my mouth? Gross.
Look,
Says
I'm not
the
here to
orc as he's
judge.
picking nacho chips out of his teeth with a finger bone. It's fine.
Have you ever
Um,
had chips lodged in between teeth? It sucks.
I
Yeah,
have.
I
but
just
it's
actually had one in real life. I've been eating chips and I got one stuck in my bottom retainer.
Yeah,
Max-
for now,
Agree.
take the ring and look at it.
That is an oof.
So you look at the ring, and if there were engravings on the inside, they are relatively worn, where you can't really make out what they are. Which kind of gives you the idea that this ring was worn for a while by whoever had this, but it just seems to be a very standard gold band,
Eerie.
It's just
no
a-
frills,
Okay.
no gems, no frills,
Like a wedding
maybe
ring.
they're very relatively close to it. Maybe it had some engravings on the outside of it, maybe it had some cool designs, but they've been taken away with time, as does everything.
Oh no, we got Smeagol in the ring now. Oh boy.
No, it is not Smeagol in the ring. Don't start with me.
It's a cat. You're fine.
It's Chuckles.
My
I'm talking about
friend-
Listen,
Chuckles
Chuckles is not
Smeagol.
Schmeagol, okay? That is not what's happening here. Please.
If anything, Chuckles is the village crazy dude. He's not gonna
Yeah.
sit there and find a bone finger
He,
and bury
he
it.
kind of quick comes over, seeing you guys around the tree. Goes, huh? What'd you find there? I've been trying to find what's going on. Is that a handprint on the tree? Why are you standing in the dirt? Why are there footprints over here? What's going on?
Ring in my pocket and not let him see it.
Is that a
Oh.
finger bone you got between your teeth there? Why you got that? What's going on?
Precious.
I was like, oh, you need something to get the food out of your teeth too? Here, I'm done with it.
We should probably report this to the guards for now.
The guard? Oh.
If there's a finger bone here, there could be more. Which means something happened here. And
Can
it
we
needs to
tell
be
which
properly-
finger? Is it the ring finger?
Yes, it is the.
Most likely,
It's more than likely like the left-hand ring finger, since it looks like a wedding band.
wedding
You
ring?
can
Okay.
assume.
Okay.
But yeah, what do?
I don't think we
What?
want to tell the guards because they couldn't care less about this stuff.
No, but we are finding hints that something did happen here. Somebody needs to be informed in that area.
Hints that you believe of what's happened here.
Yeah, we don't have enough
I think
to
before we go to
bring
the guards, we need to go to the other side of the lake
To
where
the table.
person starts walking.
to their table. I don't think.
Yeah, let's head there. Why not?
All right, so you guys head on over. Chuckles just kind of goes sits at his lean-to, just like, if you find anything, tell me. Spooky ghosts, he's like to take people. And so y'all meander over to the other side of the lake. Y'all go and find yourselves a little spot there. There ain't no trees on this side. It seems relatively clear, minus some reeds that kind of grow up around it. There's like some waterfowl that kind of flew off into the distance.
Same thing as before, poking the ground with a scabbard of a blade, see if I can find anything out of the ordinary.
You don't find anything super weird this time as you're going through. You have expected to find maybe another patch of dirt or maybe something odd that would kind of hit the scabbard, but it seems relatively unimpressive on this side of the lake. Someone roll me perception/investigation.
Which is
Oh, I
better.
got you on this one.
All right, we got 17 from Zuria.
Not gonna beat that.
You could.
No, I got
Oh,
10.
you took a 10. Took a 10
I'm just taking a 10. Yep.
and an 18. And then Zeb coming in with the drum roll. Ah,
But one who would be really good at this isn't rolling.
25.
Holy shit!
Zeb,
So
what the
Zeb
shit?
coming in clutch
What the hell
with
is your...
his perception check.
Hey guys, I might be big and green. Don't mean I'm
Sorry, I'm
dumb.
dealing with Bibble.
You're good.
I do
Remember,
still
Zeb
have,
is also a rogue.
I
This
do
is
still
what
have
he does.
glasses.
He just pulls out some thickum glasses. So, all of you scored well enough to kind of figure this out as you're kind of standing around, but Zeb's the one that's like on the ground on all fours, like rubbing his face into the grass, like, I smell something funny. And he comes across two very worn footprints at the edge of the lake that seem stationary. There's nothing leading to or fro. It's just that there are two very worn footprints in the grass on the edge of the lake. And as you look across the lake, those footprints line up with the tree almost exactly.
Like, did the disappeared into the tree?
Ah,
Are you
What
gonna
was
bring this
that?
up to us?
Hey guys, look.
I mean,
this,
all of you
set
scored high enough
footprints
that you
here.
can see it. It's just Zeb's the one that gets all this information, but you see him like nose first into the grass, and
Yeah,
in
if you
front of
see
his
a
face are
giant
two
like
worn
green dude with
footprints.
like his face into the ground, you guys are just like, "What you see there, boy?"
This is my roll for us. Can I use survival to track where it may have come from?
I mean, even without using your survival, you just looking at it, even with just the basic knowledge, you're like, there's no tracks coming to this spot. They're just there. Is anyone gonna touch it? Maybe
I
like
will.
touch the grass, see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch grass. Let's go.
You're gonna touch that grass. All right, it's freezing. That specific spot where there are the divots, it is cold to the touch, like touching ice.
Freezing temps, guys. I got freezing temps.
Yeah, I was about to
Ding.
say, is this we got freezing temps? This Spectre? Spectre.
All right, get back in the truck. Go ahead and leave. Everyone place your bets.
Wait, hold on. We
We
gotta take a
don't-
picture. Let's.
Do we have EMF 5?
Where are you? Are you
So-
here? Are you old? Do you suck?
Are you French?
Yep.
Where
Comment
are
allez-vous?
you?
So yeah, so Latte, you touch the footprints and they are ice cold. The grass around them is fine. It feels like sunny grass, but the divots themselves are freezing.
Half a year ago. That's when this started, apparently.
Well, allegedly.
That seems to be a time frame when everyone's saying this all started.
I thought it was just a
Zarya.
couple of weeks.
No.
So Zarya,
Yeah.
so as soon as you hear Latte say about half a year ago this all started, your ears perk up
Ooh.
because with your check on Chuckles, you recognize that mark on his neck has to be older than at least a month, if not more.
Oh, so he got doped up
He got
6
injected.
months ago. Yeah.
He may have gotten stuck with something, as in like against his will.
No,
drug.
he was.
Possibly
I
to
think that
keep him
bottle might
from
be the
spilling the beans on
contents. I have
something he
no
saw.
way of proving
Did he stay?
He's not with us.
He's at his
At his
lean-to.
little-
Are you looking
little
to see
hut.
if he's still there?
No, I'm going to share now with the rest of the party the mark on his neck and the time, like everything that I'm clicking together. I will, because I didn't share it. I only shared it with Latte because
Right.
he was around. So
Yeah,
I want
so
to
you
share with
yeah.
everybody else that he did have like a weird injection, like mark, like thing on his neck, and it wasn't fresh. And this started, a few months ago. I don't know. Something. I don't know what to connect, but it's
I wish we
connected
had
somehow.
I wish we had the stuff to carbon date the bone.
Bruh, none of us are that.
I might be observant, but I ain't a smart man.
You're out of your fucking mind. You think any of us are gonna be able to have the equipment to carbon date
Yeah,
some shit?
none of us would have
And
that.
you said you did meet that alchemist or whatever, but I mean, he could
Also,
possibly.
carbon dating wouldn't.
They saw nothing. However, they did say about half a year ago is when Chuckles over here started his.
Spreading,
even
well,
still,
maybe
like,
not
carbon.
spreading a rumor, but started the seeing
When
of
he
the
started.
spooky.
Yeah, when he
Mm.
started bringing this up, so we
Besides,
could
even,
assume
like,
that was when he was stuck.
So Latte, as you motion towards when Chuckles started and you kind of motion towards his lean-to, he's not there anymore.
Told you I should have held on to him.
We should have killed him earlier.
Killed him.
What?
No, I wasn't thinking killing him. However,
Zarya
didn't
approves
say
of
that.
eugenics. Zarya approves of eugenics confirmed.
let's head back. Let's get the alchemist take a look at the class while we still.
I don't know if we can trust
Yeah,
somebody.
I don't,
is,
I don't know if I trust that guy.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I don't.
he's high up there on the old list of suspects. Magic guy, been working on his doctor's thesis for 10 years. I don't know, a little suspicious.
Theses do take a little while.
Not
but
10
I think-
years,
10 years. You can graduate.
Unless he
10 times.
failed.
which means maybe he's going to more drastic measures, and he's experimenting now on poor Chuckles.
He's very
He
methodical.
is trying to do self-sustaining homunculi.
I guess what is Chuckles or like not a human? Because
I was gonna say halfling, wasn't he?
A small.
He's a small.
A
You probably
small?
think he's probably no, he is not a schmeagle. You probably put along the fact that he's probably, I would say closer to like a half, not a halfling, probably elf-ish in general. Elves seem to be the most common denomination in this area, just in general, just since there's so many different varieties. but it was really hard to tell with all the schizophrenic movements and hair that he has on his face.
Oh.
So he could be taller, shorter, who knows? He just
What if he's a
looks
cross between
weird.
a dwarf and an elf?
That's terrifying to think about.
He's a delf.
Fascinating.
Oh
No.
god, not a Delph.
He's
Um,
the byproduct. He's the byproduct of a bad Legolas and Gimli fanfic.
Oh god, I hate you.
You guys
Um,
are
I hate
horrible.
it here now.
Possible strategy to just find out if this alchemist guy is in on this. What if we go back to the alchemy shop, magic shop, say that we didn't find anything at the tree or anywhere around the lake, and judge his reaction based on the false information. And then
Feed
look
him
for
false
Chuckles.
information. So feed him false. Okay.
His last apprentice died from mixing saltpeter and
sulfur.
I mean, that's 2 of the 3 ingredients.
Alright,
of
with that
gunpowder.
information, can I link anything with the ash that I saw? Stepped in. Did it seem like any of that?
No,
Nope.
it seemed more of a burned material, something closer to maybe pipe ashes, cigar ashes, cigarette ashes, something like that where it's, or maybe even a small fire. It's hard to tell.
I was about to say, did you smell the ashes?
No.
They were on her foot.
Which I know it's not great.
Did
but
it
okay.
smell my foot?
At this point with the walking, the ashes have kind of scraped off into the grass. But from when you eventually looked at it, it's probably some burning something small, whatever it may be. But yeah, Chuckles is no longer at his lean-to. Are you guys moving back towards his lean-to, back towards the shops?
Let's go around the north side.
Okay.
Let's see if Chuckles follows us.
So you head around the north side, and you're back on, I guess, what you could call essentially Main Street. You see the Goliath shop on your right hand, and then past him is the spell shop. No sign of Chuckles.
Go into a spell shop. All of us this time.
I want to go be sneaky somewhere.
Okay, where do you want to go be sneaky?
Can't see this. Yeah, if we're down this road, like, I don't know, is this like an alleyway?
Yeah,
or something?
alley.
To see.
It's a space between buildings.
Yeah, I want to still like see down this road, but I want to like hide in
Okay.
an alley.
You go be shady on an alley corner.
Yeah.
Yes. You do
Okay,
that.
Roll for snacky or not?
No, you're just
Okay.
hanging out on the alley corner. You're just looking shady. You're doing the rogue thing. And the rest of you are moving into the spell shop. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So as
Unless someone
Zarya,
else is
as
going
Lookout. Does anyone else want to be shady on the alley corner with Zarya?
Might as well be since I fit the part.
All right. So we have
Okay, I'm
Zarya.
a big boy,
He's
Oh,
also
big boy.
sneaky.
Yeah,
I am.
sneaky boy.
but somehow big.
So you're both being shady on opposite corners of the alley, kind of eyeing the street
Pull out my
nonchalantly,
dime
of
bag. I'm
course.
just kidding. I don't have any of that.
Pull my dime back.
And I
Jesus.
try to do the like. I'm just kidding.
The the shady character emotion, like you got the fucking ball cap and the glasses on, and like smoking a fucking doobie. Like, come
No,
on.
like
You
out
have
of
a whole
character,
gangster squat.
out of
Oh
character
god, the Slavic
statement.
squad. Yeah, what up?
Has anyone ever seen that movie?
Slav squatting.
Has anyone ever seen that movie where like there's that giant guy? He's like making his way through town and he keeps like hiding in plain sight.
Yes.
That's like me. that's
Yeah,
that's
I imagine you're Kronk from Emperor's New Groove trying to hide.
Yeah, it's even
Like you're
better.
diving in between people with your own theme music,
My
and
own
it
little
doesn't make sense.
monologue.
Yeah.
You've got like a whole perfect.
At one point, I'm like that guy from Grandma's Boy, just up on the walls, like
Exactly.
no one can see me.
So y'all are hanging out on the corner being shady. The four of you go into the magic shop, and it looks like it did before. As Latte explained it, the homunculus is still on the counter with a little sign around its neck. But
Oh,
Just ask for homunculus for the master. He'll come out.
the homunculus doesn't move. It just keeps staring off into the wall, into like through you, as if you weren't there.
I'm going to take my finger and push on it slightly.
It falls over like a statue.
So
Dead.
it wasn't sustainable.
Possibly.
I holler back, y'all,
Species is impossible.
to the back of the shop. Hello, shopkeep. Wizard friend.
You don't hear anything, but Nate, you do see the homunculus kind of fall over after Latte pokes it. Roll me intelligence for your DM knowledge to come into play. Your many years of making shenanigans.
Ooh.
All right, so you remember just very quickly, all of a sudden, that homunculi, one, don't act like that, and two, usually dissolve when non-sustained or dispelled.
Why am I getting Full Metal Alchemist vibes?
Okay, something's up here. Any objections to going to the back room and seeing what's going on back there?
First off, real quick, I'm gonna look around the shop to see if there's anything interesting out and about. Because if there's no one here to stop me,
I thought we were the
hate
shady
Marcus,
ones.
This is not the time to shop. Please,
no,
can
it's
you
not
go?
the shop.
Can
I'm
you
just
go?
stealing it.
Can you go signal in our sussy friends from outside? We may need them.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
go
got you,
ahead
man.
and prep to open the door.
I'm gonna,
Wait,
Don't
Yeah.
open it yet. Get the two freaking drug dealers outside and bring them inside.
Hey, just because I was
Fucking
efficiently
drug
able to
dealers!
steal the dude's coin purse doesn't mean I'm a shady asshole.
I'm gonna go get the drug dealers.
Yeah, signal them in. All right. Tell them we got good
That
product
is
in
their
here.
fucking name
They're
now.
gonna move. They gotta move some
squad.
No, drug dealers.
I'm gonna go get the Slavs. I'm gonna go get the Russians. Let's go.
I mean, in a
Don't
sense,
stop
we
Slav
do need to be
Squad from
making
getting
some
your ass
coin
in.
while we're here.
I
So
know. I've got
So
my Adderall.
Jesus,
I'll take a couple
You
dime bags
signal.
and randomly sell them.
fucking hell! You signal the two jackoffs in the alleyway who are Slav squatting, peddling Adderall, as they're calling it spasm rocks.
Oh my god.
And you wave them in, they come in behind you, all six of you are now in the magic shop.
Singing in my theme
Alright.
music the whole time. Do.
So I'm gonna put my hand on my greatsword.
Yep.
Ready to take it out.
I see Nate's serious face, and I'll draw my bow.
I'm gonna put one hand on the door. I'm gonna look back, wait for a signal. That way we can breach.
Even in all seriousness, I'm still myself.
Of course. And so you go to
everyone's
push
ready, I'll go
against
ahead.
the door. So you go to push the door to see if it's open, and it doesn't open when you push on it.
I'm breaking the door.
No,
All right,
no, I'm
give
gonna
me
stop Paul. I'm gonna stop Paul.
athletics.
I'm
No,
gonna stop
it's
Paul.
already happening. Nope, shush. Shush there, boobin tiefling. Latte,
Ding
roll
dong.
athletics.
Should have said Tits McGee.
I
Make
was
fun of my boobo.
I was trying not to be like be gone thought. That's
Ding
overkill.
dong, motherfucker. Ding dong.
All right, so Latte, you get a good shove into it with your greatsword behind you. You are game face, and you just smash the side of the door open that has the deadbolt in it, and the deadbolt just pops through the wooden frame, and you enter the room, and it's a small room. It's probably 12, 14 feet long, probably about 8 foot wide. Not anything super crazy. It's very dark, or would be, if the back door wasn't slightly ajar.
Oh well.
But as you enter, give me a dex save
Oh, I'm dead.
for you, Latte.
Bardic inspiration.
Hold.
I'm giving you a bardic. I'm giving you a bardic inspiration.
The hell's
Roll
a
another
dex
D6.
save?
6.
It's D6. Okay.
Roll a d6 and add to it.
So 11.
All right. So with a 13, you don't trip over the body that's right behind the door. and fall on your face and hurt yourself. So you kind of kick the leg and you catch yourself and you turn and you look down and it's the alchemist. And he
Kneel
doesn't
down,
look super good.
check his pulse, see if he is alive.
Oh, he is gone. Whatever color was in his face has left. He is very pale. There is foam coming out of his mouth, or had come out of his mouth. And there's residue all over him on his face where something must have happened.
I'm gonna shove Zala away from the body.
Okay.
I'm
Specifically his face.
investigating.
No, that's cyanide. Foaming at the mouth, pale skin. That's cyanide poisoning.
Check to see if any injection marks
All right.
on his
First, hold on. Pause. Take a point of inspiration, Doug. That's good. That's good shit. That's good. Thank you for catching that. Anyway, resuming.
I don't. Do I
It's
just
in
click
the top of
inspiration
your
box?
character sheet. Yes, just put a point in there.
And what does that do for me? I just get advantage over one.
Gives you advantage or reroll later down the line.
Okay.
Basically,
You had
it's a fate
inspiration.
point.
Do we have any apricots in the area? Any apricot trees that we've noticed?
No. So Cactus comes in, shoves you away, says cyanide. He suddenly feels enlightened by the narrator that is watching him live his life, and then leads you guys in. You were all kind of in the room looking at him. Now, you guys kind of see what's going on. He has multiple research papers all kind of strewn about the room. He had multiple kind of like cauldron-esque vessels being utilized to create what looks to be molds for homunculi. There's multiple like failed versions of them in what looks to be formaldehyde in glass jars, kind of along shelves in there, with notes saying like, use too much of this component, didn't sustain. Use too much of this component, could not concentrate on telepathic communication. Could not fly, could not communicate. He's been trying to troubleshoot making essentially the perfect homunculus.
Zarya, you're the fastest of us. Go grab a guard.
No. Okay.
I don't
We-
want to.
Okay. We've been seen now walking into this shop twice for the second time.
I think we just broke
And
in
now
the
this
second
person's
time.
dead. We shouldn't split up. I think we're onto something. Like, things are happening. I think we need to continue following this. Can someone go check the back door? Or I'll go check the back door.
I'll go out
Alright.
the back door. They might
All right,
look for
Latte
friends.
and Nate, you guys start working your way towards the back door, kind of going between tomes and supplies and chests and stuff, and just a lot of strewn about material. It looks like, from a glance, that there was definitely a struggle. From who or what, you don't know, but there is definitely a struggle.
I have a suspicion.
And you see the door is ajar in the back, not by a lot, just enough.
But if a door is ajar, then what does ajar actually mean?
I'm gonna hit you with a brick. The door is slightly open. You don't know. It's enough that it seems like someone may have closed it behind him, or may have closed itself. So roll me perception/investigation if you want to look further.
Rolling for Nate. Hold on.
Do the thing for Nate.
Yeah.
Hit the button.
Not good. Not good.
So Nate, you realize that the door, with your limited
even a
perception,
door.
you notice. You know it's a door. You know it is open. You know how it's open. You know that they probably opened it with the doorknob, and that someone came through the door. That's where your ideas end. You're kind of having a brain fart where you're like, okay, door open slightly. Someone came in. What happened from there? Latte, you kind of look at the door. No forced entry. And it seems like there may be, you're not entirely sure if maybe it's from wear and tear, but there are some marks on the locking mechanism on the outside of the door.
It was picked.
Possibly. You're not 100% sure.
Somebody had the key and they had shaky hands.
Or that, yes. But you see, the door was not forced open because it opens outward towards the lake. It is not opening inward. So it
Is there
had to
any
be pulled
footprints?
open and then closed in. Not that you can see along the floor. There is a lot of unsettled dust and papers, but there are no real tracks in the grass. The grass must have either moved itself back into place, not been stepped on heavily, or they didn't go through the grass.
Where is Smeagol's lean-to?
I'm gonna.
Out the door by about, I don't know, 20, 30 yards from the shop.
Definitely in view of the you can see the door, or vice versa.
Oh,
I
yes.
guess, right?
You can
Yeah.
see the lean-to from the door.
Can I look back to Cactus at this point and say, okay, now see if there's anything of use in here. Go. Do the thing.
I'm gonna go rummage through the thing to see if there's anything useful in here. Motherfucker's dead. I got no shame in stealing this shit.
I can help. I don't mind doing that too.
Specifically looking for spell components, specifically pearls.
All right, so let's see. I'm gonna roll a d20, see if you find anything close to that. You
So obviously,
find
magical weapons.
you feel like you're kind of in a rush. You find like a couple of pearls among the components, but you're basically like sweeping them into a bag that you'll kind of sort out later.
Good enough for me.
We're gonna look like fucking murderers at this rate.
Wrong place, wrong time. You also come across, you, Cactus, come across one small trinket that you throw into the bag. Zara, you come across 5 small trinkets you kind of sweep into a bag. Cactus, you officially grab 1 pound of components. Zarya, you find 4 pounds of components in pouches. And then, let's see. Cactus, you come across 2. Basically, they are either weapons, rods, staves. So, like, they're magical equipment pieces that kind of shoved into a bag.
Okay.
And Zarya, you found 1 magical weapon staff rod equipment piece that you also shoved into a bag very quickly. All right, and so while you guys are rummaging out there, being noisy about it, anyone else in the room with the body gonna take a look-see at anything? As Nate and Latte are at the door, Zarya and Cactus are in the main shop room, kind of just grabbing whatever they can. What are the rest of you guys doing? Because we got Cass and Zeb, you guys are just looking at the alchemist's body and all of his research.
Did we determine? I'm sorry. I'm also trying to recap. Did we determine that he was like injected by something?
All you know is that he was hit by cyanide from Cactus's outburst, from his immediate response to the situation.
Okay.
How, you do not know.
So some sort of like investigation to see whether or not there's like
Investigation,
anything-
perception.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not ain't shit to fuck with.
I mean, you were the one that saw the fact that it was cyanide, so it's just like at this point, oh, someone really wanted this guy dead. Like, I wonder if
Someone wanted him dead.
I wonder if he
very
had
quickly, and
something like on him that they took off. It looks like he's been like.
I'm
Roll
curious
that
as to-
investigation.
I'm curious as to why, if to maybe our twitchy psychotic friend, minor exposure to cyanide over a very long term can present signs similar to what he's experiencing. So maybe the same thing that happened to him is the same thing that happened to our dead shopkeep here, and he
All right,
just happened to be
hold
lucky
that
to survive
thought. Keep it in your brain bits. Because on that thought, what are you bringing up to the party? Zeb, you don't see anything super weird that's taken off him. It didn't look like he got rummaged through. Like, he
Yeah.
didn't get looted, so to speak. He just kind of... There was a struggle, and something happened, he fell out. But you do come across a very blatant needle mark in the front of his neck.
Mm.
like very blatant. It is bruised. There is a very hole that is bleeding or was bleeding specifically. Like there was some force behind it.
So it wasn't as methodical. It was more like rushed and tried to like silence him. It's like obviously they wanted to get rid of this guy. Does cyanide
And
usually
then-
get injected like that, or is it usually in?
It can be
Yeah.
injected, ingested.
Okay,
It doesn't
ingested.
really matter how it gets into you, as long as it gets into your bloodstream.
Oh, this guy literally had a
And
needle
Cass,
shoved into him.
you are near the body as well with Zeb investigating. Do you want to use Druid know-how or any kind of perception investigation to see if you see anything funkadelic?
That's a word.
What?
Do you want to see if there's anything funky going on with the dead body you guys are standing in front of with your Druid brain?
With my druid brain? Yeah. Probably not.
So with a 12, you notice at not his feet are sticking out, at where his butt is on the ground.
Oh, I'm looking at
You
his
see-
face. Gotcha.
He's got a dumpy. No, listen.
Oh shit, he got a dumpy?
Oh no, a dumpy was taken from this world. No, near his butt on the ground, you see a vial that is intact almost completely, as if it fell off a mechanism or was used. But it seems to be the same type of glass Cactus found outside, and has the same kind of colored residue inside of it. This time, there seems to be a rubber seal on the mouth of it.
I pick it up and hold it up to look at it and inspect it.
You inspect it, and you see that there is a bit of a slowly moving greenish liquid that seems to have blue tint to it as well in the bottle. Holding up to the light, it refracts very gently, but on the inside of the vial, this seems to have a residue from it, as if the vial must have been filled with a lot more of whatever it is before it was used. How it was used, you have no idea, but it was full of something.
I'm gonna ask her to see the bottle.
I'm gonna hand the bottle over suspiciously.
You hand the bottle over suspiciously.
Keeping it away from me. Pop the cork off. Like use my hand to waft a little bit, and then put the cork back on and smell it to see if it smells like almonds.
Oh, buddy, does it smell like bitter almonds?
This is cyanide. I'm gonna put that in my pocket. Actually, no,
Don't put
no,
it in your
I'm-
pocket.
I am not. I'm gonna hand it back to her.
Thanks, that's just what I wanted. How did you know I wanted
just what I
cyanide?
wanted.
Any activity outside the back door, while they're all
They're-
cyanide.
So, while they're trying to safely package away this used vial of God knows what, no activity outside the door, but Chuckles still hasn't shown up yet.
Nate, let's go to Chuckles Lane too. I have a bad
Latte,
feeling right now.
you are set on splitting this party. I'm not doing it. Once they're done in there, we can go to Chuckles Lean-To. I'm not. We should stay together.
I think we have another body there.
I mean,
Wait, what?
I mean maybe, but like, let's get everybody else. Like once they're done. Hey guys. Hey, y'all done? Are we good? Can we go?
Zarya and the
My
Cactus have
magic-
gathered their goods. Yeah,
I
they've
give
gathered their
magic
goods and they're
stick
in the
to
morning.
Cass.
You gave magic stick to
You-
Cass.
I got a magic stick.
You got a magic
Yeah.
stick. You don't know what it is yet. You'll find out later when you guys have a minute
Nice.
and aren't frantically running around.
Take a ride on my magic stick.
Yeah, write it.
Just like,
Heck
just like
yeah.
Lady Gaga says, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, Cass, you have a magic stick. Everyone's back in the room. Latte kind of points
love
out
my
towards the
magic
lean-to, along with Nate. As Nate is like, "I'm not splitting the party. We're waiting on everyone. Everyone's down the room." You guys slowly wander towards the lean-to. It's about 30 yards from the door.
I got a bad feeling. All right, let's head there. As quickly as possible, actually, just in case.
So you are at the lean-to. There is no body. Give me investigation/perception. People who want to be first on scene to do that.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. Hang on. Hold on. What's happening? All right. I gotta find out where I was. All right. Cass was the 12. All right. Zarya, Latte, Cassie. All right. Cool. So Zarya and Latte and Cass, you guys walk up to the lean-to. Cass, you see that he wasn't laying on the bedroll, but he's definitely not here. You definitely sense that there's, again, a struggle or something spooked Chuckles. Latte and Zarya, as you guys are kind of walking up and kind of looking with your special eyes, you come across, Zarya specifically, another vial. This one is also relatively empty and is laying on the bedroll where you imagine Chuckles once slept. And Latte, you see some divots in the grass, almost showing as someone being dragged.
I'm gonna start following them and signal for everyone to follow me. Just go, hey, come with
Yeah,
me for a moment.
let's go.
I pick up the vial.
All right, you pick it up and you give it to Cactus, who currently has the first vial on it, putting it in a safety pouch so as not to kill anyone else by accidental exposure.
wait, no,
And
he gave me the first
Yeah.
vial.
Oh,
give it
no.
to her.
I didn't give
Yes,
it to
please.
anybody. I picked it up.
all right, so
I'm just kidding. I'll give it to
Cass and Zarya.
I'll give it to Cactus. I don't really want it.
All right, so the vials are in people's possession. Good, great.
Framing ourselves for murder. Let's go.
Latte, you follow the tracks. You guys see Latte kind of just start scooting as they are following tracks through the grass. They are scooting with some speed,
With a purse.
and the trail brings you to the tree.
It just stops.
It stops beneath the tree.
Roughly where that patch was.
No, just basically the side of the tree that faces his lean-to, not where the patch of dirt was where you dug up the fingy.
Where the handprint was?
In between the two spots. Basically, the handprint and the patch of dirt were opposite each other, and you're kind of on like the southern side, where the handprint was on the west side, the patch of dirt was on the east side, and then the other footprints you guys saw earlier with the ash was on the north side.
I'm gonna look up.
Do I see? Yeah, I was about to say, do I see anything if I look up into the tree?
No, you see like some burbs and leaves and maybe like a squirrel, but you don't see anything up there.
I see three things.
Yeah, you see tree stuff, tree things that are happening.
I'm gonna kneel down then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna see how well my fingers move across the ground, see if it's loose.
It is regular grass. There is no loose soil here.
How does someone just...
But Latte, as you're touching the grass, you feel your heartbeat in your ears, and you look to the left, and something rises out of the water.
Oh.
Draw
EMF
my
5.
blade.
As you step back and draw your sword, it's a body that rises up kind of chest first. That
Backtrack.
seems to have a plague doctor mask on it. And a very familiar potato sack tunic.
Use my sword to draw the body in.
You pull the body in towards you and pull them up, and they are gross. Do you
We're not
remove
with
the
them.
mask? Oh, you guys see this. Like, you guys are, like, a couple steps behind him. Like, you guys saw Latte, like, deuce. Like, just towards the tree.
Do you guys have your smudge sticks ready?
I'm gonna take a cloth, just
Yeah, a whole ass crowd.
put it over my mouth, put it
Get
over my
the
nose.
fucking
just to be on the safe
crucifix out.
side. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the mask.
You pull the mask off the face of the person that you pulled out of the lake,
Is it Chuckles?
and beneath it is another extremely pale individual. It looks like the life was sucked out of him. Just the foam at the mouth, the eyes are drawn back into the skull, and it's Chuckles.
It's Chuckles. Fuck.
And there is a very evident injection mark on the side of his neck, close to where his original one was.
Damn it, Chuckles. We could have been friends.
Can I look around as Latte pulls the body out? Look around and see if anybody is watching us from anywhere, like specifically looking back towards
Roll me perception.
the
Oh my god.
Like the town?
You're bad at
Afraid.
that. I'm good at that.
Can I nudge? Fishy
So-
and be like, hey, look around, see if anybody's watching, because criminals stay near the scene.
Zarya. Roll me also perception. You two are working together on this. Oh, you both got 12.
I am bothered
Matching both.
by
Matching
being
matching
dead.
rolls.
I'm gonna
We
check
touched
his
So-
body, see if he had
we touched
anything
shelves.
on him.
So hold on.
Okay.
So Latte, you pull the body out, you pull the mask off. It's Chuckles. He is dead as a doornail. And you also realize he wasn't wearing a plague doctor mask before. That's weird. And as Nate and Zarya are looking around because they are perplexed and perturbed by the situation of events, in Zarya and Nate's head, you hear
Ding. Oh,
specifically this noise of almost a ding of a large brass bell and a whisper cross across your ears as you're looking around.
shit.
And it pulls your eyes to a very specific port of basically the archer's windows and the battlements of the wall. And as your eyes go to it, almost as if the noise draws you, you see staring back at you a black plague mask that's eyeless. And when you blink, it's gone.
Chuckles was a fucking human.
Up there, we gotta go.
So,
Up there. We saw a mask. We heard a bell. Weird thing. Some weird shit happened. I think up there. And I'm pointing to it.
so
Or I
Alright,
heard some
there.
weird shit. I don't know if anybody else heard it, but I heard some weird shit.
but first, I have a few things I want to check here. I'm listening to them, but there's a few things I want to check. Like Dr. Mask were worn to help filter the scent of dead bodies, which means they were typically equipped with herbs and stuff inside. What herbs were used in this mask?
In this
Underwater, you would
mask,
be able to
it
tell
was
degraded.
he wasn't in there that long. He was in there maybe an hour as you guys have been searching.
Yeah.
It wouldn't degrade that quickly.
Oh.
But regardless, what's in the mask that is caked in there that you can tell is not herbs or flowers as what your mind would tell you. It's just ash and dirt. It's almost as if whoever put the mask on Chuckles wanted him to remain silent even in death.
I'm gonna check his body for anything else, see if there's anything that might be on him, like rings or anything like that.
Sure. You check him over.
Value.
No, not quite.
He's got some gold teeth. No. So you check him over, and you can definitely tell that one, he's not human. To put you at ease, Cactus. Two, he has a ring on his left hand.
Wedding band?
Wedding band.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna take it out and compare it to the other one I had.
Yeah, it doesn't match.
It's very close. If you took in the degradation from
Is
being
there
in the
any
dirt.
engravings on it?
On his, the engravings on the inside, again, are very worn because these are not a strong metal that has been gold plated. It is just a soft gold. So the engravings didn't really stick. But the outer engravings kind of point you in the direction that these were paired.
Oh yeah.
So the killer
We'll
obviously
take
has
it to
his
a
own calling
goldsmith, see if
card.
they could find if there's a way to recover the engravings on it. Well, hold
You
on
could.
to them for now. Both of them. But I think we found out the mystery of a lady on the lake.
She hates men.
He was seeing his
No,
wife.
it was Chuckles' lover. Maybe.
He was seeing his partner and couldn't resist. Oh,
We have a
that-
serial killer on the loose.
As I say, yeah, the bony finger I was using as a toothpick also had a ring on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the ring they're talking about.
The same ring?
Yeah.
Jeez, and I had these perception rolls as high, and all of a sudden I just showed my true colors. Whoops.
All right.
Yep, that's the signature if I ever saw one. And trust me, I've watched a lot of crime shows.
I mean, shit. The
Mine was
cyanide
designing
alone.
a
The cyanide
game on
alone's a signature.
Let's
Oh,
As you
that's-
guys are
my
standing
favorite
around the
collection.
body, and Nate and Zaire are pointing you guys towards the battlements, the rest of you didn't hear before get a chill down your spines and just hear a singular bell toll in the distance.
We need the guards.
I don't trust the guards, and also, we're here to make some money. And if we solve this, we get money. If we let the guards solve this, we get no money. So
We need someone to take care of the bodies at least and give them a proper burial.
I would say
You
we
can
need to
come back
inform the
to
guards.
do that.
Do that.
I would say we need to inform the guards of what we found, though, so we don't get blamed for it.
Well,
Just
now we
say,
have a
"Hey, don't tell
whole-
them-
We're framing
don't tell 'em-
ourselves for murder.
Don't tell them everything.
what do
I
we
was
tell
gonna say,
them?
we
Hey,
have a
we found
whole-
these dead bodies in this place that we just went.
We have a
we're
whole
gonna go check this other
investigation,
thing out. Bye,
basically.
see ya. Let's
We're
finish
gonna
this
continue our
investigation
investigation.
and then tell the guards.
Like, we're still
We-
building a
and
case here,
also,
Are we
yeah.
on a little bit of a time limit? Are
We
we on
need
a
it.
little bit of a time limit?
Yeah, we got
Uh,
our other jobs.
Because
coming
it
up.
is about 11-ish to noon now, as you guys
Oh, plenty of
have
time.
found
Well,
Chuckles
I-
among everything
I wanna-
else.
Gonna
Look.
detain us.
Hold up.
We don't have evidence that it wasn't us.
I
So
want to
we
look
need
right
evidence
along
that
here. I want
it's
to see if there's.
Alright.
something else.
All
I
right,
want to see if there's
Latte,
any
you wanna-
other doors that are cracked.
Just with a quick scan, you see the 3 shuttered buildings that don't seem to have had anyone come in and out of them are still relatively locked up. The doors are all closed, and the door to the back of the Goliath General Store is also closed. The only one that seems to be ajar is the spell shop.
I want to. Let's head over to those locked up buildings. I wonder if there's somebody staying in those. Squatters. I've done
You didn't
an-
hear anyone talk about squatters, but you just walk up to the doors and you give them a good tug, and they're relatively locked. It's the doorknobs haven't seen a lot of action. They're relatively well worn from just being made and been used before, but no one seems to have come in and out of these buildings in quite some time.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to cop knock and put my ear against the door to see if I hear any movement.
You don't hear much, if anything. You hear maybe some very small feet of like rats or other small vermin kind of scootering about. But past that, it's quiet. Like unnervingly quiet in those buildings.
Nate, do you remember anything weird about the Goliath shop? Any weird ticks?
I mean, there was like a kind of a simple fella in there, but other than that, nothing weird.
Nothing weird at all, huh?
I mean, the guy just seemed like a general store owner. I have a real strong feeling that we should go check out this bell tower or watchtower, whatever it was.
Where is the sound coming
It's
from?
not another
Exactly? You
fucking
said
church, is it?
Does it
Well, the
seem like
sound-
it's been on the hour?
No, the sound was in your heads.
Oh, okay.
Because the one
Oh.
that happens, so the sound that happens on the hour is like an actual large clock in the center of town, which does toll based on the hour it is. So at noon it would be 12, 11 would be 11, etc., etc. Those didn't happen because it was a single or 2 tolls that you specifically heard as if you were standing next to the bell.
This is like the Hunger Games. When somebody dies, you know how like
Oh yeah, the cannon fires.
the cannon fires.
But to
We
give
heard
you guys
too.
an idea of where the battlement that you heard the noise from was this one that I've painted for you so lovingly.
Oh yes, okay.
It was from inside that specific battlement tower.
Gotcha.
Oh, I mean, they could technically see us if that is a something up there.
Right.
You know,
It's not reported.
I don't know. I think someone's doing some sussy stuff, and we should go check it out.
At the
Yeah, I
battlement
second
tower,
that.
I kind of suspect the general store.
They literally saw something in the window of that battlement tower.
Yeah.
Let's head that way
Mass-
then. We'll
yeah,
have to go through regards to possibly go.
Same like, plague mask. And plague doctor mask. Plague so the doctor is a clue.
oh,
So is
And
it an
they're wearing a
apothecary
plague
mask? Is that what you're
doctor
talking
mask.
about?
It's the plague doctor mask.
Big
back in,
nose?
like black. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with the
and
the
and
big
the only
hooked
and the only
nose
name
thing.
associated with this kidnapping is the doctor.
So really, right now we're trying to figure out motive. We already know who he is, what he's doing.
Well, we don't know who
Are we
he
still?
is. We
We're-
know
are we
It's
still
the
by? Are
doctor.
we still by
Maybe he
his
goes by.
corpse? Grib?
You guys are by the lake unless you start moving otherwise.
No,
I'd
not
like to
yeah,
check his body
who,
for
but like
signs
the
of
fact that it's the
plague.
doctor, the mask, and everything fits.
So, give me medicine. I'll give you a bonus based on your normal Doug stats. I'll let you use your background knowledge. I'll give you. All right. So with the 10, I'll let you make your own conclusions. So
Can
you
I,
check the body.
But before you
Alright,
say that,
say words.
Can I, I'm gonna bardic myself again.
Okay. Do that D6 and add it to the result.
14.
All right, you got a 14. So again, you're gonna have to pull your own conclusions, but this is information that you're able to gather from looking at Chuckles' body. So you kind of give him a good look over. You don't see any kind of marks on him besides the injection port that would show signs of him being scratched or cut or hit. But around his neck is a pretty significant bruise that goes all the way across, significant of that of a relatively strong chokehold.
He was chucked into a lake.
No, Chuckles is the one who killed him.
Yeah.
Humor me. Plague Doctor Mask. That's one identity. Two, it's a Goliath. He was raised in the mountains. If you don't have a weapon on you, what's the first thing you're going to resort to? Strength.
Was that Goliath? None of them were.
No, the dude was.
The
Yeah,
general
well,
store
yeah,
owner is a Goliath.
Our alchemist.
No, the alchemist was not a
an
Goliath.
elf.
Yeah, the alchemist was an elf. The general store clerk, owner, person is a Goliath.
But there's a reason I started to suspect the general store
It's
owner.
I'm mostly confident it's the general store owner.
So to give
How-
you
this
context
is- I know
of
this is
just
kind of a-
heights, so you can use this in your brain, is that the general store owner is at least 7 foot tall. He's a big boy. Chuckles was like 5'6" at best. So keep that in mind when doing your conclusions, because Latte found drag marks.
Yeah, he was drugged. Probably
The
look at
Goliath
somebody.
would
I know
also
this is-
drag him.
I know this is okay. I'm gonna. He was in the water for an hour. I'm gonna check the back of his boots.
Why would okay?
He doesn't wear shoes.
If it was the Goliath, he wouldn't need to drag a small body like this. He could easily
Yeah.
carry it.
Let-
Like easily
let's head to
carry
those
it and
battlements.
toss it. I think we should go check out these battlements.
We need to figure
Alright.
out what's being
We can
used as
check-
the injector as well.
We can check the battlements, yeah, and then we'll go. We got to look at the general store though.
Make a list of suspects. You're probably gonna need it.
I'm thinking definitely on the list is the general store owner.
So in
You
the
could-
general store was the owner and this like
Halfling named Willie.
halfling,
halfling.
kind of like simple guy
The
named Willie.
halfling.
Let's repair.
Halflings are
I'm gonna check for tracks.
approximately anywhere from 4.5 to 4 feet, sometimes a little less.
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
would
look for-
need a drag.
I'm gonna look for tracks. If you're dragging somebody, your heels are gonna dig heavily. They will leave track marks.
So, following the drag lines that Latte showed you, there aren't super heavy heel marks. Because, as one would imagine, if they are someone who is shorter, you're going to have more weight on the body, dig deeper into the dirt. These ones seem definitely someone was putting their heels into it, but it seems like they had some experience doing it before because the tracks themselves are not as staggered, they're uniform, they're only maybe a half inch into the dirt at points. Like, it's someone who must have been at least decently strong enough to carry Chuckles, even if Chuckles was a smaller person, but also to know how not to leave evidence.
Zal, do you still have the mask on you?
Yes, I'm keeping it on me for now.
I'd highly recommend leaving it. That is the one uniform clue that we have. Not that we have, but that the people of the city have. That's something that's going to scream suspect. We can probably get away with hiding these vials of fucking cyanide. We'll probably get away. We can't hide that.
Did the alchemist have the plague doctor mask on him?
Nope.
But he was.
But he was drugged in with the same stuff. Okay.
We'll leave the mask. Let's.
Cause of death was the same for the alchemist, but he did not have a mask on him.
It could be that Chuckles was planned, but the other guy was like a rush job, which is
He
why
was
it was
caught.
like jabbed and like stabbed hard versus just precise and
But
with
yeah,
no
the first guy
bruising.
was caught. Chuckles was planned.
Yeah.
And maybe I wish I had thought of this at the time before you pulled it off. But if the mask, if it was sat on his face properly, like he'd be wearing it, then that means Chuckles put it on intentionally. My concern is that this might be a cover up in that someone put the mask on him.
So, in your infinite knowledge, as you're sitting here kind of bouncing it around, even if the mask was put on correctly, does not mean that Chuckles put it on himself. Because looking at the mask, you see that it has 2 cross leather straps that go over the back of the head.
Yeah.
And that's what holds it in place.
Yeah, those.
It would be
They're not hard to put on.
it'd be simple enough for someone to put it on, along with the symbolism of it being filled with ash and soil, which in that instance is kind of an insult during burial rites. So it seems definitely that you would be in the correct term of that Chuckles was planned, and the alchemist may have seen something
Is the
that he wasn't
Alchemist and the
supposed
general
to.
store right next to each other?
Yes.
They have a building in between each other, yeah,
Let's see.
but
if
they're
we heard
relatively close.
anything, Very least.
Go
We
for
can
it.
do that before we go to the battlements. They'll be on the way.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Let's just stop in there, see if they heard anything.
Yeah.
All right, so you step into the general store, and you see the halfling Willie is still kind of listening to the large Goliath, even though every time he goes to touch something, you hear, Willie, no, Willie, Willie.
I just want to glance around to see if there's any glass vials akin to what we've already seen, at least in the same shape.
There are boxes of sample vials that you would find in a Dungeoneer's kit, but they are too large compared to the ones that you were finding. There is what looks to be a apothecary kit on the wall, which has those smaller vials in kind of like a leather doctor bag. But as you kind of peer inside, none of them are missing. But it does kind of give you an idea that it could be an apothecary question mark.
I mean,
It
it would
has to
have
be-
to be.
Can
There's
I
got to be
check?
someone who's very knowledgeable. Like creating concentrated cyanide like this is extremely difficult, even by like our old world standards, like back in the real world. I guess I don't want to call it the real world. You know what I mean?
You
Is
need to
difficult.
steal it from almonds, pretty much.
Even then, doing it with this world's technology would be incredibly dangerous. So unless you are really, really, really good at what you do,
I mean, we poofed here. Who's to say other people haven't
which is a fair
traveled
point.
here? So that's my only
I've been
argument
here
with that.
before.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
would-
Can I insight check the shop owner and see if there's any like change about him from the last time I was in here?
Yeah, go for it while I'm slowly dying.
Well, I hear death is bad for you. It's bad for your health.
Oh, really? Thanks. So you insight the Goliath. He seems like a regular guy, just kind of a regular shopkeep. He seems very frustrated with Willie, even though he won't show it. But he runs an honest shop, and he doesn't seem like he's moved from that spot because he doesn't like to leave Willie alone in his shop.
I'm going to ask
Understandable.
one question.
Understandable.
I'm going to ask one question. Just
Yes.
real fast. Mr. Shopkeep, can you please direct me to the closest apothecary?
That would be in the apothecary center in the center of town, specifically probably closer to Winter Road, north of the small docks. Over this way on your map, you look at Owlbear, this generalized area. Y'all are up here. It's down yonder ways inside the city.
Been about an hour. Yeah, you'll be able to get there. Or at least get back in town and start your way in.
I would like to tell the shopkeep there's trouble about, so you may check the lock on your back door if you've got one, and any
Have you
weapons
heard
you have on you,
anything?
keep them handy.
I will keep the clubs handy. Willie, check the door.
How'd you
And
kids? How'd
he
you
turns
wife?
to you, Latte, and goes, "As for hearing anything, I thought the alchemist next door was making a ruckus again. I thought his homunculi had gotten out. But as past that, I haven't heard anything."
How long ago was this, roughly? If you don't mind me asking.
He gives you the same time frame of when you guesstimated Chuckles was thrown in the lake. So at this point, probably like an hour and a half
Have you
ago, give or take.
do you remember seeing anyone around that time coming to or from that shop?
As you see, I am in the back of the shop, and there are no windows minus the front.
Does,
Possibly in the back room there may be a window or two, but I'm also very large.
has Willie seen anything?
Willie has been
Willie.
touching my things again, Willie. Willie has not left my sight as he still owes me many coin, Willie. Just side-eyeing Willie as Willie's just kind of sitting there touching things that are definitely expensive and shouldn't be touched.
Thank you for your time.
Yes. Willie, put that down.
Head to the tower.
Let's head to the tower, and before we head there, I just want to see if there's anyone who might have had sight of the alchemist shop about an hour and a half ago, like any vendors or anything.
So as you're kind of walking down Main Street here towards the North Gate, you see that most of the other buildings wouldn't have had eyesight into the alchemist shop, and then that the alchemist himself was ambushed in his room behind a closed door. So as for people kind of milling about, people don't tend to get in each other's business because they're trying to run stuff. Because at this point in time, as you step out on Main Street, it seems a little bit busier than it was before. As you're seeing a couple of caravans in the distance coming towards Cauldry. And so there's a bunch of people kind of milling about in the street now, not really paying much attention to anything, just kind of going in through shops and making their way through.
Yeah, TV's first battlements. Nobody would have seen anything then.
So you guys make it to the gate, and the two guards are still milling there. And you see that there is a door to your right that would enter into the battlement walls, and then a door to your left that goes to the opposite wall.
I'd like to
Alright.
approach one of the guards and say, we've interest in seeing the countryside from here. We're kind of visiting the area. Would you mind us taking the stairs up to the battlements? Any problem with that?
No, just don't mess with the guards that are up doing their job. The
Yeah.
battlements are public domain for the most part. Just if you go to the top floor, you may get crumped. And he just kind of goes back to smoking.
I have no desire to get crumped, whatever that is. Thank you.
I'd like
Good
to
sir.
see someone crump
Thank you
me.
for your service.
And so you guys go to enter the door leading into the battlements where you saw the plague mask or the plague doctor person, the scary man. And as you enter through the door, or you go to enter it, you hear a scream from behind you towards the vendor buildings that you just left. It looks to be a tiefling woman runs out of the magic shop, screaming and yelling for the guards and motioning towards the back room.
Continuing up the battlements, we go.
Shit.
No, I'm hauling ass back to her.
No, Cactus. They found the body. We need to go to the battlements.
Oh, the alchemist shop. I thought you said general store. My bad.
No, not the general store. Also, how would you get alchemist out of general? Never mind. No, the general store is fine. It's a woman went into the alchemist shop,
Okay, yeah, that's about.
saw the body,
Quick,
and freaked the fuck out.
Go to
Hey, double time. Let's go.
So you guys enter the battlements. There are like a couple of floors in where you can kind of go up the spiral, or you can take pathways that are inside the walls at each floor. And from from what you saw, when you saw the plague doctor, he was on the second floor out of 4, where the fourth one being the top floor of the battlements.
We saw
Okay.
him we saw this image.
You saw him
of
on the
this-
second level of the battlement, yeah.
Okay. A relay to the party. Hey, we saw this image of this plague doctor on the second floor. We should, I think,
Back up a second floor.
investigate there.
Right, so you guys with relative ease, like a guard comes down the spiral past you guys, and you just kind of stand to the side. He's like, tuk, 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 tuk. Like he's hauling ass down the stairs, out towards the vendors.
Yeah.
And you make it to the second floor battlement window where you saw the plague doctor. And what do?
Searching this room for room for room.
All right, it's a relatively decent sized hallway that leads to another spiral staircase that has a little pathway across going towards the next
Okay.
section of the wall, et cetera, et cetera. But you can clearly see out the battlement window down to where you guys just were near Chuckles' lean-to, and of course Chuckles on the shoreline of the lake.
Is there anything like
Yeah.
on the ground?
Roll investigation to take a look-see, to use them special eyes.
Your special grade Mark 1 eyeballs.
No, terrible.
Look, I invest in my plus
Stairs
one
are hard, guys.
eyeballs.
Am I
Investigation. Boop. Well, my good dice have failed me.
allowed to
So,
roll
well, I'll tell you, between you and Nate, you guys are still kind of shaken up by the whole thing, where you don't exactly know what to look for, because Nate doesn't know exactly what he saw, and you're like, I don't like what's happening. Everything is bad. But you do find one thing on the sill of the window, or the sill of the archer peak, looking out towards the lake. And there is a singular vial sitting on that windowsill.
Is it?
I use a freaking crossbow. Are you kidding me?
No, it's full, and it's left there, almost on purpose.
Haunting us.
They might be
Not
trying
that
to
I
frame.
saw the
They
vial,
might be
but,
trying
you
to
know.
frame us.
We're gonna collect the vial.
So you pick up the vial and you see that it's full of the same liquid that was in the other 2 vials. It is sealed and has not been punctured yet, so it is encapsulated and is safe to handle.
I'll ask him for it.
I'm gonna just look
Underneath
over
the
to see if
vial-
there's any markings on it.
Underneath the vial is a small piece of paper that has been folded.
I'll pick it up and
Damn.
read it.
as you go to read it, you see that it is scribbled rather terribly when it comes to handwriting. Um, but it essentially, as you read it, you hear the words kind of echo through your head.
Greetings.
Oh.
You are not fit for this game. I sense the disease in you.
And it's those three lines kind of put together where it just says, "Greetings, you are not fit for the game you play. I sense the disease in you, much like I saw in the others. You will be judged."
Nothing new.
I'm gonna hand a vial to Cactus and then casually show him the note. Looks like I'm
Alright.
being threatened.
Cacti don't like you that.
You know, like cacti. Third personing. Did only Zala hear that?
It was when you
Or-
picked up the note,
okay.
it kind of got prestidigitation into your head, where that's the voice you heard kind of speaking.
Okay.
Very interesting.
So there's one door out of this.
Well, we heard bells.
Room, right?
Can I make an Arcana check on what I know about
Sure.
basic precision and send
Roll
message?
that Arcana. Roll it. Let's see what happens. All right, so you're able to sense that there was definitely some magic behind it. Very simple cantrip magic.
Or probably send message.
Either send message or prestidigitation or something along the line of what an artificer would use to etch messages into objects that kind of project to the person. But it doesn't seem like anything is complex behind it, but you do sense the emotions behind the words. Arrogance, anger, and just a lack of fear, almost apathetic to you trying to follow him. Almost if it's like a hunter or a predator following its prey, it knows it's already won kind of feeling to it. And so it is not a good feeling.
Alright. But I can't tell it's most likely something an artificer did.
It's something similar to what an artificer can do, but it does seem that it is on more on the magical side and less of the tinkering side. So it's definitely some very basic magic that someone could have learned over the years.
Let's head towards the apothecary's area. We would have to know something about this vial, correct?
I don't
I
trust
think-
anyone.
I think we got to be super careful showing that around, because as soon as someone sees that, they can easily tie us now to those bodies that we found.
Yeah,
We
you
gotta
guys
be
technically have
super
3 murder
careful.
weapons on your person
I
now,
still have
so
the I still have the shattered one, yeah. Because I didn't.
yeah, you have a couple pieces of it.
Okay.
That is a correct.
All right. We'll look at it, Nate. When we go to the apothecaries, we'll ask her. We'll tell her, "Hey, we found this at the site where the person's supposed to be. Can you identify this?" We'll put the ball in their court. That's very innocent. We know they know we're are investigating it. We're looking into it. We should have found something. So by us going, "Hey, what is this?"
I think even more general. We found I think we disassociate this from the lake, even maybe in this town, tie it into some truth. Hey, we came from St. Joanna. On the road, we found this, and just curious as to what it is. I've never seen anything like it. We kind of have like a hobbying interest in like apothecarianism or whatever that is. I don't know words.
Somebody who's skilled in
herbology.
Sure,
honestly,
sure, herbology. Just wondering if it's something cool that you've never seen before. Or maybe you've seen it before. I don't know, but like
If-
don't tie it to the lake. We've never been out to the lake. We're new here. We're super new here, which is true. never been out the north gate,
Well, don't share that.
don't share it. Don't. But
If you don't mind, I'd like to talk to her.
yeah, I think you should definitely do that. Talk to them.
I want to
Maybe-
be there as well because I have
You're
feelings
more than
maybe-
welcome to
for-
be
pres-
there. Just
Maybe present the the booba if that works. I don't know if that works. I've never had them, but
well, we're finna find out.
Mine.
maybe it works.
We're finna find out.
Yeah, we could always check that, but I'm more concerned with if they're after me. Bring it. We'll go to them. Let's go.
Yeah. So, are you guys gonna head towards the apothecary center?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll stay on the walls until.
So I have
other
2
side.
vials. I have 2 vials in the Shattered Violet, and Cass has the 1 vial. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Should we maybe not be on the battlements here? Just
No, the battlements are fine. We might find something else.
okay.
I mean, you
fair.
guys can
That's
you guys
what-
can essentially walk through the battlements towards the other gate on this side and kind of exit into the apothecary center from there. If that
works.
makes your lives easier.
Yeah, let's travel through and see if we see anything on our way. I'm looking to see if I see any more clues, hints, vials.
So
Like
you guys
Dr.
make your
Max.
way through the battlements, one tower at a time till you get to the gate, and you don't find anything of really interesting interest until you get down back to ground level, close to the guards that are kind of standing watch on the northwest gate. So once you kind of get out of there, you didn't find anything interesting. There was no more letters or notes or anything like that. It's just kind of liblium. And so when you exit out of the gates into the northwest area, the guards again are just kind of hanging out by the gatehouse, and that's basically what you see. And then down the road here, of course, the apothecary center and some other general stores and whatnot.
All right. And we were pointed out to a specific one, correct? If I remember right.
Yes, this specific apothecary is going to be right in this area of the one that the Goliath was speaking of.
Which means he knows her somehow.
I mean, it's
Let's
it's a village apothecary. You're
Well,
gonna
there's
know
more than one shop. He has a connection with her if he referred us to her directly.
Probably one that he trusts as a Goliath.
them, which is not an insignificant thing.
Let's head on in.
All right, so you guys get on down yonder to the apothecary store, and you take a look inside, and it looks like just a standard ass apothecary store. It seems very well stocked, and they seem very good on supplies and training. You know, like there's anything weird about it. It just seems like a very well respected doctor slash apothecary works here.
Are you after a treat? Is that what
Maybe.
you're after?
Give me treats. Give the
That-
dungeon
What about
daddy a
that?
treat.
Sorry, I was.
But yeah, so you enter. I figured, but yeah, you enter the apothecary's business shop, and it's like I said, it's relatively straightforward. It is very well supplied. It is very well kept. There isn't anything really out of place. It seems to be a very well traveled apothecary shop. As if people kind of trust this one out of everyone else. But yeah, so you are now in the shop. You see there's someone behind the counter tending to another villager who's asking some questions.
listening on those questions. Just see if it's anything relevant.
They're asking about crotch itches and how
I
to
knew
fix.
it. I fucking knew it. I was like, he's gonna make it about fucking an STD of some kind, isn't he? No, he
Well,
wouldn't
you
do
decide to
that.
listen in to a man's conversation in a village in like the old days. Come on.
He
Look,
wouldn't
I
fucking.
have sensitive ears. It's gonna be overheard.
Everyone's got itchy crotches.
Yeah, everyone's got itchy crotch at
Everyone's
some
got
point.
Itchy crotches in this time.
Like they got itchy crotches in Nate's campaign. Like how I feel like we need to host like that's one of the things that when we're just vibing, that's something we can do as characters
Well,
to
like a
help.
sex ed class.
Yeah, we
What?
have a sex ed class.
Right
Yeah,
now,
we'll
like a
cro-
book of carnal knowledge. Let's go.
let's
No.
we'll
We
cross
need
the
to have a
bridge when we
sex
get
ed
No.
there.
class to help
But right
fucking
now,
idiots stop getting
No.
these.
Let's
S-
focus on
so-
this for now.
So you hear the guy talking. He's just asking about general ailments. He's having itchy parts of his body. He's not trying to figure out a good way to cure it, or at least to help it. He tends to toil the fields a lot and just doesn't feel super well all the time. And so he's giving pretty good advice from what you guys can hear. Giving him herbs and tonics that would help. Salves that would help with the itching, etc. All very good advice. Things that would make sense to give to someone of that. So you already have kind of a good feeling about this apothecary. And the man seems happy with his answers. He gets the supplies he needs and he walks out and he kind of eyes the two cat persons of the group like, oh shit, did they hear me talking about it? And just kind of very hurriedly runs out of the apothecary down the street. And the lady looks at you guys, and she is a wood elf in very much what looks to be almost Druidic dress, but still has like a very nice lab coat over like a very twisted twig cloth flower shirt thing that she's got going on. And then she has like a little lab coat over it with like some thermometers and whatnot. Just kind of a weird cross between a doctor and apothecary. She looks at you and goes, "Hi. I don't usually do group appointments, but I guess I can make an exception. How
Oh.
are you?"
We just have some questions. I'm gonna signal for Cactus.
Okay, I'm happy to help with any questions that the people who live in Cauldry have, or even travelers. That's what I'm here for.
Hello, hello, my beautiful elven friend. While we were on our way to the city, we happened upon uh, a bunch of smashed up vials and some stuff. And I'm not exactly a well traveled person, I admit, to my unfortunateness, but I've never seen a liquid like this. Could you tell me what this is? I admit I'm very curious.
That's I don't usually have people coming to me for identification. It's usually prescription, but I've always wanted to use my skills more. Of course, if you could put whatever you have on the counter here, I will get my glasses and I will take a look upon what you brought me.
I'm gonna do the thing.
So you put it down. She brings out a little, like, focused lamp torch looking situation where she can just point light down on it, and she puts on these, like, Benjamin Franklin magnification glasses with like the little flip down lens, like a jeweler or a watchmaker, and kind of just takes a look at it and goes, "Huh. And you found this on what road specifically?"
Oh, let's see. What's the name of the road?
It's just the road between St. Joanna and Cauldry. There's not like a name for it.
Oh, okay, yeah. The road between Saint Jemina and Cauldry.
Strange. This is very much the make of an apothecary's vial, but the liquid is hard to discern what it is. She goes, and she goes to touch it with her finger.
Gotta. Mm,
I'm gonna shoot Zala a look. Very quick.
Three,
Like,
2, 1. Who stops her? What are you doing? She's going to be touching
put my
it.
hand in between hers and.
you can't get cyanide poisoning from direct contact with it. It has to enter the bloodstream. It's fine.
Oh, but okay then, that's fine.
It's
All
fine.
right.
It has to enter the.
So she pokes the glass and kind of puts a little bit of residue on her finger and looks at her and goes, "This is a very strange concoction. I can't quietly tell what it is, and it smells like almonds. That's
Can I
very
insight check to see if I believe her?
go for it."
Also insight check this.
Shit.
15.
15.
That's not
Oh,
bad.
Let me get back to my character sheet.
Alright.
So Zarya, you don't seem any kind of ill intent. It's
Okay.
she's yeah. You and Zala both look at her and kind of see that she is very curious about this, because it is not known for apothecaries to travel, let alone lose their vials, because they're expensive. Like, they have
Right.
to be made very specifically and have to be able to carry liquids for long periods of time. And so she is relatively curious of what this is, because much like Doug said prior, cyanide in this concentration, in this amount, is not something that is normally made without malicious intent.
I'm going to look to see if she has anything akin to like activated charcoal, just in case.
I mean, she has plenty of things around here. You see that she has stuff for what you would understand is diabetes. So it has like essentially the version of this world of glucagon, or like simple sugar syrups. She has what looks to be some form of quote unquote insulin that you would understand it as.
Hmm.
She has things that are of like activated charge for people who do take in too much toxicant into their system, such as like drinking poison or something along that line. Because as any good apothecary, you have to have the cures as well as the things that you sell, much like having Narcan and
I doubt
opioids.
she has
Narcan, that's what it was called,
cyanide kit. So I'm going to
No,
keep.
there's absolutely, as far as cyanide poisoning is concerned, once it's in your bloodstream, there's almost nothing you can do. The only real thing you can do is a very dramatic measure, which is if it's injected, like the homie is, you have to slice them open. You have to make them bleed out the toxin.
So to
However,
clarify on what Doug is
I know
saying, and
where
just
the
so lot,
activated charcoal is. That's all I need right now.
yeah. So just to kind of give you guys a header on those who are not understanding what this is that cyanide in this specific concentration is, it's a death toll. It is a Dunyan rings. It's, you get hit with this, you are done. You have no response time for cyano kits. You have no time for antidotes. Like, it is hitting you like a sledgehammer to the brainstem.
You have about
Um,
15 to 20 seconds.
no, 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 not with this
Maybe.
concentration. With
Jesus
normal
Christ, you
concentration
die.
cyanide exposure, is you do have that amount of time.
You do.
If it's light concentrations, you can have
Yeah,
up to a few minutes, up to an hour, depending on how much. But with the stuff that this guy's using,
This
it
is
is
the potent
almost
shit.
instantaneous. Like, this is almost on the levels of hydrocyanide. Like, this is
Good
really
brain.
nasty. It is meant to kill whatever it goes into.
Alright.
So, at that point in time, when you're looking around, she has a lot of things you can connect to what you'd have in your modern world or your own world versus what you see here. It's not anything extravagant. She has like poison extractors for snake bites. She has essentially a type of gauze. Blech.
It was the activated charcoal I was focused on. I just want to keep my eye on her because I do know where testing of liquids goes.
Yes. So
Yeah, we will stop her before that.
so she's looking at it, she has the residue, and she's kind of just eyeing it. She's just very confused because even in druidic states, making poisons that are based off the cyanide toxin is kind of unheard of, because they'd rather use an animal that makes toxins so that way they're not possibly exposing themselves, much like Native Americans using rattlesnakes. So her being a druid apothecary wouldn't really know much about it. She does kind of say that it's probably something that you don't want to keep in your proximity, and if you find any vials of this full liquid that she would like to see it, but it's not something that she would have much knowledge on. It seems like something you may have to go to the next step up of someone who is a full medical quote unquote doctor, or like magical doctor.
Actually, we have someone here who might be able to answer my next question. Do you recommend somebody who might be able to identify it?
Here she goes, you may have to talk to the royal doctor, or I say royal doctor because he lives in the castle, but it's the personal physician of the mayor, is a very well versed medical resident, and he has training in the wizardic magic, the arcanic arts, where he's used it to kind of help him get along where he is, to understand how the different bodies, different species work. So he would more than likely be the one because this seems something that is out of my field as a natural causing
You said he's trained to be arcane
thing.
too.
Most doctors you find here are trained in some form of the arcane because it makes it easier for them to write essentially notes to their patients to remind them to go get their medications or to pronounce it for them. They use it more as a shopping list guide or to help put things into people's hands that help them stay alive longer, but also helps them expand their knowledge of what they're dealing with. Because someone who is good for an orc, as she mentions or motions to Zeb, is not the same as a physician who is good for a dwarf, as like your friend there.
If I
You know
may,
what?
has he contributed any new major breakthroughs or anything of the sort?
His job has been keeping the mayor alive and some of the other higher ranking families that live near the castle. I mean,
Is
not
there
that
a
I
way to
know
make
of.
an appointment with him? Do you know?
I don't think he takes new patients. I mean, you could possibly ask the mayor. That would probably be a good place to see about getting in contact with him.
The mayor, huh? All right.
I have a question for the apothecary.
Yes.
Uh, if you needed to purchase materials to make your poultices and potions and antidotes and all those things, where would you purchase your like your flasks and your um, jars and whatever other bits and bobs you use?
Depending on the apothecary, some of them learn to make their own if they have the time. Because it's just glass blowing. It's just it takes a lot of skill to do it. Some people get it from artisans in the village. I say village, the city. Some people order it through other towns, specifically like the Glass Keep, that is very well known for its glass making. Or if you come across a general store that seems to have them, as there are many in this city as well, to help with people passing through travelers' adventures like yourselves, investigators, etc., they usually sell some relatively decent quality supplies you can get, but they're not as good as having it handmade by an artisan.
If you wanted to make something complex or advanced, where would you get that?
If I was going to make one of my tonics that required a lot of my focus, I would need a spot that is away from others because sometimes when we try to make certain medications, they have byproducts that can be toxic or harm those around us. Being a druid, we like to collect the rather more potent samples from the nature. That way, it does not harm anyone else except us. But if you were to make your own, you would require a significant amount of glass, probably heat, and a way to do it without those seeing it because it is quite a noisy and extravagant process.
And one last question for you:
Of course.
Has there been any epidemics nearby recently?
Oh,
Uh, Not in the sense, it's every once in a while we have travelers come through that have a certain type of sickness. Usually they just get really sick and we just have to quarantine them and make sure that they don't accidentally hurt others in the process. Uh,
Boogaloo's?
Anything that might
Cass.
require special equipment to deal with it, like a mask or something?
Uh, Sometimes if it's a very delicate case where there is something going on, we usually wear these, and she shows you like these very thick cloth surgical masks. She goes, people still believe that apothecaries and doctors wear those horrific bird masks of their history books.
oh.
No one does that anymore. That
Is
is
there
an actual practicing physician.
is there anyone who might still have one like as a relic or anything like that? Just something from the past that they're holding on to as a
I mean, you
reminder.
can make your own if you have enough leather and time. I mean, it's not as much of a big thing, but past that point, it's from person to person. The museum may have some pieces that you could look into. And she just kind of shrugs off, like, I don't know at this point. She's kind of at a loss, too, because it's not like they can keep track of who has plague doctor masks or not.
I was seeing if anyone might be practicing the old ways, if anything.
No, Cauldry's are relatively on the upswing technology-wise.
You always find those weird doctors that still practice old ways well.
Well, you haven't met the royal physician yet, so who knows?
Maybe.
You know, the royal physician's a little bit of a quirky one, but she basically just lets you know that most people that are practicing physicians don't use plague masks anymore because it hurts the vision, it hurts the way you breathe, it just doesn't really do anything. Everyone knows how an infectious disease works at this point in time, so like, yeah, we just want to keep the little buggers out of our face.
Interesting. We're
So-
close to modern medicine then. Okay.
Not in the same. They know that there are tiny things that make you gross and or sick, and they know they can stop it with this over the mouth, not like the whole shindig.
All right. Thank you.
Of course. And she
Yeah,
kind of goes
shard.
back to studying the shards that Cactus left on the counter.
Oh, and whatever you do, don't ingest that. We had a friend of ours along the journey, and he's currently lying in rather sick.
Oh, of course. I will take the necessary precautions. And she just kind of scoops it into a little leather pouch that she buckles and sets on the counter just to kind of remind herself to look at it later. But then she goes back to working as she is. She goes, if you need anything, please feel free to look. Otherwise, ask me more questions, or I will see you if you come through once again. And goes about her business.
Yep.
What do y'all do now?
Leave the shop.
All right. She did mention that the museum may have something you could look into. Or you can try and talk to the mayor about getting with the royal physician. Maybe they know something.
Museum could be
Yeah,
two for one,
could
though.
do a twofer here at the museum, and go guard the museum and do a little poking
It's
around
still,
about
what time of day is it?
the mask.
It's like 2 or 3 in the evening now.
A
Like
little
it's
early for
it's
the
after
museum.
lunchish.
Let's go to the mayor first. We were going to work in the museum tonight anyway.
I don't know if I want to go that high up. We're already
I
so
don't-
sussy asking
Man, I
these
don't know.
questions.
We've been poking around a lot. We've made kind of.
Let's
are
give it some
we-
time. Let's
are
give it some
we
time.
mayor worthy right now? I don't know. If we're
I
just
feel
like
like we should
randos.
last resort the mayor
Yeah, we need
because
to
it's
give it
the
some
Well,
time.
mayor.
Mission.
Like, that's
Let's go to the
probably the
tavern.
highest up.
Let's
Yeah.
give it some time.
Maybe
Definitely.
maybe ask old Maximilian if he knows anything.
Yeah.
Just kind
I
of
think we trust Max enough. I'd fill him in. I think.
I think we trust Max, right?
Right? We should fill Max in this chaotic shit.
Quick, Cactus, Cass, roll me perception.
Boy.
Very good. Cactus.
15.
Willer. So you two hear heavy footfalls behind you back into the apothecary shop. Like from inside the apothecary shop. Like lots of feet hitting the ground all at once.
Like
Uh-oh.
It's a
like
scurry.
from outside.
Like you are outside the shop, like away from the door. Inside you hear a lot of heavy footfalls.
Going
Like-
back inside.
All right. You step inside as the back door closes.
Going right at the back.
Running.
Back.
Actually, no. I'm using my feline agility. I'm dashing.
We're following.
Same.
All right. So you guys
I'm
see
going
Cactus
around.
and Cass just haul ass through the apothecary shop.
And Cass is fucking gone.
Zarya,
Dashing.
Zeb is on autopilot right now because he's getting a drunk.
I'm
so
here.
you and Zeb. Oh, hi Zeb. So you and Zarya go around the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys use your
I wanna do
roguish
that rogue
abilities.
Yeah. I wanna
Rogue
do
shit.
I'm gonna do rogue shit. I've never been a rogue.
You guys,
I do admit that I see her doing it first, and then I look around to see what's going on. I'm like, oh, this is what we're doing.
yeah. So you dash in the alley behind her.
Rogue shit to Zeb
Oh.
in Thieves Can't.
Thieves can't. Jesus
Thieves
Christ.
Can't.
Is that
Rogue
even a thing in Fifth Ed? I don't think it is.
Yes, it
No,
is.
it is.
Yeah.
It genuinely is.
Thieves
I
Can't
like
is a
pull my
thing.
nose and pull my ear, which means shit, not Thieves Can't. Rogue shit.
It's been a while since I've said anything, so I'm gonna add some little emphasis of what happens. It's like feet planted far apart, butt clenched, legs jump up, and I do rogue shit.
Yeah. Rogue shit. As you go, like, let's go! As you start running down the alleyway. So you and Zarya take a quick split. I'm going to nab you guys real quick. I'm going to do the knife for our two
clench.
rogue peoples. For the rest of the party, you guys are going to be the shieldy boy.
Yeah.
So you guys are in it, and Zarya and Zeb, you are going around the side through the alleyway behind it. Cass, you run into the back door first, and you pop it open, and it looks like it goes through a storage room. And as you step in, you hear a loud thunk to your left. Zarya and Zeb, when you guys come around the corner, there's no one behind the building, and the door is still closed. That leads down into the basement, like a cellar door.
Ruh-roh.
I look to my left and draw my sword.
So as you
Right,
look
do
left
you
and
have a
draw your
as
sword,
good?
Yeah, I have a
It's-
sword because
she
my
had a
dad
sword when she
owns a
started.
sword.
Why not?
that's her drop-in sword. She doesn't have a druid weapon yet. She's gone. This is my druid sword.
We'll help you.
Sword.
We'll help you.
I have a
Dude.
sword.
Do no harm, take no shit. Like, let's go.
Oh, she has magic stick.
This
I
she
just
well,
don't know what it
stick.
do yet.
She can hit it with the lantern.
She can do a lot of
I
things.
have a sword.
But so you step through the door first, as everyone's kind of falling behind you, because you went super quick. You went the fast.
Yeah.
And you look left, and you see there's another door closing to your left. That looks like it leads downward.
Going through that door.
All right, you go up to the door, and it's locked.
Shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, I opened the back door
So
that we.
Zarya and Zeb, you guys. So hold on, Cass, 1 second. Zarya and Zeb, while you guys are standing there, you see that there is a cellar door in front of you, leading down into the cellar of the apothecary shop, and it is still locked. Like it has a chain around the handles. So no one has come through that door yet, and you don't see any other doors leading into the apothecary shop from where you were standing.
I think
Do,
we should go
do a
in there.
perception to see if there's like a hidden lever somewhere.
Make it happen, Zeb. Roll them discs.
Oh no. Cat.
You said roll a perception.
Cass. Yeah, roll perception, and then Cass. Are you gonna try and break down the door? No, you guys are behind her. She's in real fast. You can if you want, Zarya.
I want to thunder wave the door.
I see something.
All right, so Zeb and the fish, you two see that there is what looks to be a door in the building next to you that is kind of in between the alleyways. Like it's like a gate for the alley between the two buildings that could lead you into like a side door. But it is also locked, so no one has come through there as well.
You have thieves' tools by chance to unlock doors.
Give me sleight of hand, and then we swap to Cass. Cass, you see the door in front of you is locked. You shoulder checked it as you came around the corner, and no dice. It is locked. The Cactus, Nate, and Latte are now behind you, and they see you kind of angry at the door. What do?
Can I use my warhammer to hit the door, or like the lock of the handle on the door?
Yes.
I'm stacking up for the breach.
Stack up.
Stacking up.
All right. So,
Stack up.
Zara, it takes you a second. You kind of bend one of your picks a little, but you do get the lock open. Nate, you're able to just swing the hammer one good time right in the handle and just bust the handle through the door, and the door swings open. And you see stairs leading down a half light, then a 180-degree turn, another half light into the cellar.
I'll take point.
I motion Latte. You get to go first there, buddy.
All right, so you guys are at the top of the stairs. Zarya, you pop open the alleyway gate, and you see that there is a window-ish situation on your left hand that looks into a stairway inside the apothecary shop.
I look at Zeb and be like, elbow, window, let's go.
Yes.
Let's go! So Zeb runs up and just crunks the window with his elbow and busts the glass in.
Yeet.
And as you guys are getting yourselves through the window, you land on the middle of the half-light as you see the doorknob come flying past Zeb's head into the wall as you see Latte followed by Nate coming through, Nate wielding the sledgehammer.
Damn.
Heading downstairs.
We're multitasking here, guys. We got this.
Ew.
All right, so you are now all
It's called a pincer move.
pincer move. Let's go. So you guys form back up into a single team and you head down the half light, and you are now in the cellar of the apothecary shop.
Oh, how
You
the
don't
tables
see or
have
hear
turned.
anything at this point in time. You see that there are barrels and there's some glass pipe work set up as if she's been doing decanting of certain tonics, like if she's been doing her job. You know, there's like a machine that she has made out of like manual press and stuff to make like tablets and make powders. Like it's very much like a mini pharmacy manufacturing thing down here. It's a relatively sizable cellar too. It's probably about 30 by 25. Like it's pretty decently sized. Has a number of crates and barrels and like a workstation that she works on.
She has a distilling device, doesn't she?
Can I hear anything?
Yep, because that's how you make tonics. You have to concentrate something.
Oh.
And so you see that there is a break in the barrels and crates about halfway down, which Zeb and Zarya, you guys would realize that that leads to the cellar door that you saw that was chained from the outside. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
good.
wait,
That's
we
What
good.
do?
Don't see anything yet.
We chased a person down here,
Yep.
Yeah,
and there's no one else down here.
and it's
Well,
from the
that you know
outside.
of yet.
That would
Okay.
have been their
I'm
only
just
way
gonna
out.
hold up my hand.
How
to,
dark
like,
is it?
Ask everyone to be quiet.
It's relatively dark. Like
Dark vision.
not super dark. It's dim light. So those of you who have dark vision, which I think is all of you,
Yep.
uh,
I think it is.
well,
We can see
yeah,
it
I think
pretty
it's-
well.
I
you
have
guys would
60
see
Dwarf,
normally-ish.
Lexi, elf.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
and
Tiefling
I
has
think
it
yeah,
too.
and Tiefling has it too. Yeah. So yeah, all of you would see, including orcs, also have it. Surprisingly.
Yeah, orc
I've
was
got
the one I
60
said.
feet of it.
Yeah, so you guys can basically see normally as if it was full light down here to an extent. So it's you can see relatively well.
All right, Dungeon Daddy, what do my cat ears here?
Right.
Echolocation.
So not that kind of advanced. So roll me perception for cat ears.
Got it.
Oh shit, my cat ears hear nothing. Latte, what do my
Big
cat ears hear?
Fucking oof.
I
So
know.
Cass, hold on, because the way it works in these games is that ones and 20s don't always mean automatic failures, automatic success. It means a good or bad thing happens, which means the oopsie table comes into effect.
Oops. This oopsie table.
I have my roll on the table just in case, because I also.
So
have cat ears.
Latte, you and Cass are like your ears are twitching, you're listening for anything. Like a pin dropping, you're all like holding your breath and
Oh my
skip
God,
breathing,
I'm
like
about
trying to
turn into a
not.
ferret again, aren't I?
No, you're not gonna turn into a fucking ferret. You know, now you say it maybe. But
Let's go.
Don't get emotional. You'll be fine.
but at this point in time, like your ears are twitching, everyone behind you is being really quiet and just watching for anything that moves. Cass. Big oofs. So you roll the one on the oopsie table. So let's see
Hang on.
what happens.
Hang on, I'd like to silvery barbs.
Huh?
Okay.
Is you just silvery barbs the oopsie table?
Did you just,
I
did you
silvery
try to
barbs for
barb?
one.
What?
because it hasn't fully resolved yet.
She still rolled a nat 1 plus a 2. You don't change the dice roll, you add modifiers.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's
Dick.
you re-roll the d20.
Oh.
Fine. Dick Munch. Am I rerolling the d20 on the oopsie table?
No, she's
that-
re-rolling the d20.
Okay. Cass, reroll your d20. Well, now I bank this oopsie table result for Douglas.
Damn.
Cool. So between Latte and Cass,
You
Cass,
officially owe me.
I hear blood pumping.
yeah, you
officially
would have
owe me.
heard some stuff happen. But yeah, so you hear normally between you and Latte, you guys can hear what seems to be like a heel kind of hitting the rock of the floor, kind of down towards the cellar door. And as you're kind of zeroing in on the sound, you hear a thump and a rattle as if someone is trying to break the cellar door, didn't realize that it was chained still.
I
Like
want
trying
to
to
move
come
in.
up?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna hang on.
move
I'm
in.
gonna motion like teams of 2 from like different
Slowly.
directions.
Slowly draw my.
We're not
blade as
SEAL
I'm
Team
moving
6.
up.
Let's just get in there. Come
SEAL
on.
Team 6. We're a bunch of freaking
But no, we don't
streamers
want.
that got
We don't want
isekai'd
this.
into D&D.
We don't want this guy to get past us. So
Oh no, I'm drawing my sword as I move in.
move. Like,
Yeah,
move
so
together.
you guys move in together, kind of having Latte and Cass point you in the direction of the sound as you're just kind of slowly moving in. And as you get closer, the thumping is still happening. And as you come around the corner of the barrels, Cass and Latte make me deck saves.
Thump thump.
Oh boy.
This I can't help you with.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
Ooh. Not good.
All right, so
Hang
Latte
on.
and Cass.
Was that a nat one?
No, it was just a 5.
I just have a really low dex.
Okay. okay.
So
Like,
Latte and Cass,
Little tumble.
you guys just have essentially something gets thrown at you and you try to catch it without
Oof.
not sucking at it. But between the two of you, it doesn't really work super well. You both kind of stumble to one knee as you kind of catch this object that's thrown at you that's relatively decently sized. And the rest of you, as that happens, see a black cloak figure hit the cellar door again, and you hear the chains give, and it runs off into the street.
Go fucking moving on,
Push
baby.
the
We're
Let's
not-
barrel
go.
to the side, and I'm moving
Run.
in.
Yeah.
Z-
I'm chasing.
So
Follow them.
you guys
Road
are kind of
trip.
stuck at
Yeah,
that
Latte,
moment
we're
as they're trying to
stuck.
get back up with the bodies. So you guys are trying to help Cass and Latte up with whatever just got hucked at them, so you can get past them up the stairs and behind whoever just did this.
You know, I'm looking at what just got hucked at us.
I'm gonna.
It is the apothecary.
Oh,
Damn.
fuck.
I'm still going.
Push her
I'm
to
not.
the
I'm gonna
side.
pick them up. Someone else will pick them up. I'm
Go.
going.
Hey, I got the apothecary. You guys go. I got him.
I have feline.
Get her
agility.
crystal.
Go,
Feline
go,
grace,
go,
I'm
go.
gonna go ahead and use it.
All right, so
Yeah,
hang
Latte's
on.
turn to
So
dodge.
yeah, so Latte. So who's going up the stairs? Was it Latte, Cactus?
Yeah.
Me?
Who's going up the stairs
Me.
towards where the guy was running?
Easy.
I guess
Am I
all
not-
of us.
So
I think everybody.
Hello?
But she's
We
going
can hear
up.
you. We can hear
I'm
you.
going to. Okay.
so Zarya, Cactus, and
Latte.
Latte. Thank you. So y'all three move past Cass, Zeb, and Nate, who are dealing with the apothecary. Y'all dash up, and as you come up the stairs, roll me deck save.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna die
Nice.
from
Oh
my
my god,
dex
Latte.
saves.
Latte, please.
So Latte's the first one up the steps with Cactus right next to him, and as soon as Latte comes up, he steps on a circular device that's put amongst the cobblestones,
Oh shit.
and a bunch of smoke pops out, and your vision's completely occluded.
I'll go through it. I don't care.
It's always that one that has to go and activate every trap.
Look, I'm
So
a fighter. I'm
you-
not
So you run forward and you stop yourself from nearly running into the building wall, because the smoke was emitted in a relatively wide radius. And once you're through it and looking, you really can't tell where that person went, as Zarya and Cactus are right next to you as you all exit the smoke.
I want to listen carefully for any footsteps sound like running.
Unfortunately, since you're above or you're on the ground level and people are still kind of milling about, there's a lot of footsteps all around you.
Even in the alleyway?
Even in the alleyway.
How tall is
Because
this building?
20 feet approximately.
Yeah, it's not gonna
Top
trap
building
sound.
we go.
Like, you guys have two alleyways to choose from, either here or here, but unfortunately it's the noise in this main road here and around you is just kind of occluding whatever you could listen for. There are people moving, walking, running, milling around, talking. There's really just no good way to isolate for a specific sound because you don't really know the person's build or what they're wearing.
You just know they were wearing a dark cloak. That's about it.
Yep, they're just wearing dark clothes and running in a direction.
All
I
right.
mean, I just bolt and go this way.
You go that way?
Yep.
Okay.
With my bow
know what?
drawn,
I'm
looking
gonna
for
go
spooks.
this way with my weapon drawn.
I'm going with Zarya.
All right, Zarya, you're the archer person with Cactus, and Latte, you are the rogue symbol. So you guys get into the alleyway. Both of you, well, Cactus and Zarya and Latte, roll me perceptions. Nate, Zeb, and Cass, you're looking at the apothecary that you have sat down against the barrels. She's not looking great.
Fucking God.
You have
I
approximately 10 seconds.
I cast healing word on the apothecary.
Okay. So you cast healing word. She seems to come back a little bit, but whatever was put into her
Zarya, what's
is
your...
concentrated.
Zarya,
Need to bleed her.
Zarya.
Uh.
Do it again.
Do what again?
Do it again.
Oh,
Silvery barbs. My last charge is silvery barbs. Do it again. Because you have the highest one. You have the highest perception. Yes.
All right, so we'll swap to you guys in a second. So, Cass, Zeb, Nate. Nate, you cast healing word. She seems to become around a little bit, colors returning to her face. Cass, you say you need to bleed her. You see the injection mark is in her clavicle. What do now?
I use my claws.
All right. Roll me sleight of hand.
I mean, I guess.
It's not horrible.
All right. You don't cut any of the major arteries that run through the clavicle area. You're able to open the area up in her clavicle enough to start bleeding it. What do now? You have 8 seconds.
And I can't tell you what to do.
I cast oh no, no. Fuck.
Biting my tongue.
Man, I don't know.
Knock her unconscious. Knock her unconscious.
I'll use guidance on the apothecary to give her like whatever, like bonus to her like life force that I can give her.
Okay. So we'll do that.
Wait, does that stack?
What bonus do you give her? Does it is like a certain number or just?
I think it's like +1 die.
Yes, it does.
It-
It
guidance-
does
Roll a
stack.
d4 and add the number.
Well,
to the
it's,
ability
but
check.
it's an ability check.
Yeah.
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 All right. So
I don't know if it does. I don't know if it's a save. I don't have. Oh, no, I can only use that on a creature that has 0 hit points. Does she have more than? I healed her. Does she have 0 hit points or less?
no, she had negative. You pulled her back up from the brink a little.
Right. So she's not at 0 yet, right?
It's for
about
whatever
to be.
you're trying to do. She is below 0, which whatever you're doing could probably work in this instance.
Okay, then I will use, instead of guidance, I will use spare the dying. I thought she had some hit points left, but I will use spare the dying, and the creature becomes stable.
All right. So between you and Cass being able to open the wound in her clavicle to start helping push out the poison, and you using spare the dying, her body's able to get itself together long enough to push the toxin out. She's still not looking hot. Zeb, you got any ideas?
Do we need to take her somewhere where she can get better help? I can carry her. It's about the best
You
idea I
guys
got.
do know that you're in like the medical district of this specific area. So if you've burned your ideas and you've burned your spells, you've given yourself probably about 30 seconds to find something. Remember, you're in an apothecary shop.
Yeah, Zeb, see if you can go out in the shop and find some kind of like general antidote that can like slow her heart rate and keep this toxin at bay here.
Do
All right,
I roll a perception?
Zeb. Yeah, you're gonna roll perception. You're gonna run up the stairs.
All right.
28 seconds.
Oh my god, you actually have a timer.
I'm literally counting the seconds as your actions. All right, so you come up,
No!
and when you enter the apothecary shop, you don't see on the wall. A lot of it looks foreign to you. You're scanning. You take 2 more seconds, and you find her book on the front table that has a list of ingredients and what to use. Roll me investigation. You're now at 24.
Well, this ain't good.
Let's find out. All right. So you roll through it. Thankfully, she's kept it decently categorized, but you can't tell which one would be best for the situation.
That's
So
accurate.
you grab 2 different herbs that you don't know the names of, and you just run back downstairs.
Good to have.
20
options.
seconds.
All right, guys. Does anyone know anything about these herbs? Because I have no clue. Do we
Do
just
I know
wanna...
anything about the herbs?
Give me intelligence. All right. You know
Yes.
one of them drops the heart rate, one of them drops blood pressure in a more streamlined sense.
That's
You
something.
know
we know
what
which-
the
do we know which-
concentration is needed for either, but you can tell the difference.
Do we know which one we want for this specific instance?
We don't want to drop the blood pressure because we need the blood to keep flowing so we can bleed the cyanide out. We need to drop her
Mhm.
heart rate.
18 seconds.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Heart rate.
We'll do the heart rate one.
Yeah,
Alright.
heart rate.
You apply that herb into the cut, and you are just trying to get whatever it is into her bloodstream as quick as humanly possible. Because of your choice, you give yourself 6 additional seconds. You're at 24. She is still kind of coming around. Let's see. Blunk. Still not doing too hot, but she's there. What's your next thoughts?
This is
She-
so painful. 'cause
she
I
can't- She can't
Yep.
like help in any way, right? She's like totally out of it.
She is in and out of it. She is an incoherent. I'm sorry. That's the correct term.
Incoherent?
I know. I know this
Incoherent.
might sound like.
able to speak the wordies.
What is for wordies?
The wordies.
Oh, I'm curious if I still have her book. Can I have one of them look at the book to see if maybe there's something else that they can discover that
Yeah,
I
can I
can?
scan through it real quick?
Yes. Go for it. Nate, roll me investigation. Look through that book.
Yeah.
All right,
50.
you see that in her inventory book and her different things, as you're looking back and forth very quickly, you're at 20 seconds. You're able to find that a combination of tonic she has upstairs would at least help keep her stable and possibly help her purge the toxin. It wouldn't be perfect, but it'd be better than nothing.
I stay with her because I can at least heal her one more time if I need to, and I tell Zeb exactly what we need.
As I say, yeah. Let me know
I give him
exactly
the
what it
exact
is.
words and say, I need these things right now. Please go get them.
All right.
I scurry.
Yep, Zeb, you scurry up the stairs, and you are at 16 seconds. You're able to find the materials, and you hustle yourself downstairs, getting to 12 seconds, and you have the 2 tonics. How are you going to get her to take them?
Tilt head back open jaw.
I know it might
I'm
sound
like
crazy,
I'm
but
like
do we have
making the,
any-
you can't see me right now, but I'm like making the motion where you put your like forearm behind her back, you tilt her head back, open up the jaw, pour the toxin in.
Yep.
Untoxin.
The
Detoxin.
tonic. The tonic.
No, that's not.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So between
Repoisoning
you and the other
gets you
thing,
poison, let's go.
so at that point in time,
Yep, double
between
bad
you
makes
and
good.
Cass trying to do it, I need both of you to roll me dexes. Roll me dex saves, both of you.
Oh man,
Oh,
I got these meaty dwarf
I got these
claws.
meaty dwarf
Hey,
hands.
I was able to bring the vials
Saves,
down with
dex
my
save or
beefy hands.
dex check.
Dex save.
I have experience with getting uncooperative
Alright,
beings
so-
to take medication.
So between the two of
Oh,
you,
nice.
you handling the tonics and getting them squared away, Cassie's able to at least stabilize her. So one, you don't pour it directly into her airway, and two, she's able to take it. And as you get the tonics in her and you kind of lay her down on her side, you're trying to get all the blood to bleed out and trying to purge it. You see that the foaming has stopped. Her color's starting to come back. And Cass, as you check her pulse, it is normal.
Oh,
You
my
have done
God.
it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Zeb, go out into the street, be loud, get a doctor now.
The
I have
mayor
an
doctor's
idea.
the only one.
So
Shot.
Zeb,
Good.
you now that patient is stable, you run outside and you start looking for apothecaries or doctors that are close by, and you're gonna just drag one by the scruff of their scrote downstairs to
Scruff
help
of their
out.
scrote.
I just okay. How about I
Just-
just pick him up
Excuse
and
me,
throw him
bud.
over a fireman, stop on my shoulder, and just kidnap
They-
by
him?
the parent.
you're-
You're grabbing him. You're dragging him by the parent.
I'm just like,
doctor.
No, is anyone in
Find
here
it,
a
drag it by
doctor?
the
Someone just
parent.
slightly raises their hand. I just grab him and yank him, and we're on.
Cool. All right. So you go do that. She is stable. She is not actively dying. She has 1 hit point now and is kind of coming back up from it. Now, while that has been happening, Zarya and Cactus, you two, Cactus not so much, but you're able to kind of help Zarya look where she needs to look by telling her not where to look because your eyes suck. So you're
Where
like,
to not
it's not
look."
that way. So Zarya, you look, and you see the edge of a black cloak flowing very aggressively around a corner going towards the monastery, like through the center of town.
I go.
Following
You
her.
go.
Don't
All
you
right.
You guys, y'all like
Latte.
understand the assignment.
Latte,
I just go.
you don't see anything, but across the alleyway, you see Zarya just bolt. And so, what do?
full sprint?
You full sprint towards where Zarya's going?
Yeah.
All right. So you come out of the alleyway. You see her around the corner going towards the center of town, towards the monastery. At that point in time, you guys hear Zeb in the alleyway behind you, yelling for a doctor.
Give me the
And
news.
you see him. A doctor comes out of one of the buildings, going like, "What is it, my lad?" And he just fireman carries him and runs him back into the building.
Abduct a doctor.
What is
I-
it, my lad? Yoink.
I bring doctor.
Yeah. So you go ahead and just yeet that out, and then y'all two or y'all three hustle down into the center square.
Well, you have one more
And-
use of feline agility because I stood still for a little while, so.
So you guys come into the center, and Zarya, you kind of figure that he was going towards the monastery just based on direction. But when you come to the center near the hook, there is a large crowd in the center of the town. They are coming in and out of the tavern. They're coming in and out of the monastery. You realize now that it is close to essentially 4:30ish, where it is now people are coming out of work. They are coming out of church. They are coming out of wherever, and they are now kind of making their way through the commons, talking to merchants, talking to the priests, doing whatever it is they do to start winding down for the day. What do now?
Look for the
And
crowd. God.
Trying to push through the crowd.
All right.
Or dodge
Uh,
through the crowd, I guess.
3 of you give me athletics.
Yikers.
Also want to
Big
see if I can't
yikers.
spot him from
What?
because he'd be stuck in the same situation. I might actually get through this. Holy
Do you
hell!
hear the pop?
All right. So, Zarya, you just haul ass. You were just going through people like they're not even fucking there. Like you were just weaving in and out. You're seeing bits and pieces of the cloak as you're running. Latte, you just start jumping on people's shoulders. You have your greatsword over your shoulder, and you were just fucking hopping through people.
This is a
Doug,
scene out of
you
anime,
were
right?
back. Doug, you're back in a Slipknot concert, and you are moshing through people. You are just straight up throwing your big arms and your booba into people and just knocking them the fuck over as you're coming through.
Yeet.
Like the chick with the oversized tits that smashes like pop cans.
Watermelons, yeah.
Dear God.
Like you,
I'm not to running, but still with my bow out.
like you are fucking hauling ass, but you are just knocking people over. You are not as graceful as your two compatriots. Those two are just, they're fucking hauling. And Zarya, as you are getting through the crowd, so you see a bit of it kind of here. I'm going to put up like a last, I'm going to use this symbol. Too big. Get small. So you guys see,
I am
Imagine
small.
eating stuff
Or
gets smaller.
right? Zarya, you see a bit of the cloak come past the corner of the monastery. So you are beelining it through these people. You get out of the crowd closer to the monastery, and you see like the flap of the cape as whoever that is just hauling this way. So you guys are
my
now
inhaler and I keep going.
very nice.
Fight through it.
Oh my god.
Wait, I don't actually remember this. Do I have wings? I don't remember if I have
No.
wings.
No,
My-
you do
my
not have
chieftain
wings.
Wrong
No.
campaign.
The
No, I
power
know,
of
I know
flight
some
compels
chieftains
you.
have wings.
Oh.
If
no.
you did, they would be non-functional. They'd be decoration.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, y'all three break through the crowd. Zarya spots Dickhead McGee over yonder, calls it out, and y'all keep going. Zarya, give me athletics to keep pushing through.
About how far is this dude?
He's probably got like a 30, 40 foot lead on you guys.
My inhaler doesn't
Okay.
kick in.
I'm gonna throw my knife at him.
All right, so Doug, I'm gonna use you as the fifth, so I can just keep track of y'all's individual positions to make my life easier. All right, so Zarya, you're here. Latte, you're kind of right behind her, and you're kind of behind, or kind of in between Latte. You guys just exited the crowd.
Why are you saying it's a fist? Don't look at
Because I just picked a symbol off the damn wall. Fight me. Listen,
Them fighting words.
listen. I just picked a symbol. I was like, this works for now. Anyway, so
Dungeon
Zarya,
Dive,
you go to use your inhaler, and you kind of lose speed a little bit. The pep in your step is kind of gone for a hot second, as whatever it is goes around the corner. Latte, you keep pace, and before he gets around the corner, Cactus, you get to huck a knife.
Oh. We finally get to use these knives we were given.
What is it, an attack roll?
Yeah.
Advantage. I'm using my advantage.
All right, roll that advantage.
And Bardic. Fuck it. I'm using my
All right.
Bardic. I need this
Okay.
knife to stick. I need this knife to stick.
You're singing some sick lyrics as you're just like hucking this knife
17.
at him. So you huck it, and you see just like shoulder plates going past the corner. You see the knife go into the cape, and you hear it tank something, and then fling into the wall, but it takes the cape off.
Ooh.
Like it was going with some damn force. And so whatever it hit,
Who got your cape?
They're burned.
and so you threw it, you heard a tank, the knife went into the wall, and he kept going. He did not get tripped up by that knife throw. So now at this point, Latte, you are now taking pack lead. Cactus is right behind you. Zara, you are behind Cactus as you come around the corner. What do now?
What do I have?
Fucking keep
You gotta
chasing
look
this
with
guy.
your eyes. You gotta
Yeah.
keep seeing. You
Yeah.
gotta see where he is.
Yeah, I want to keep continuing and
Yeah, we
find.
need to keep
I
pace
want
for
to
now.
catch him is my end goal, or it,
Yeah.
them.
You gotta use your eyes. You gotta see if he's still
You
in
want
that
me to
alleyway.
Percept.
Yeah, Latte's got a
Percept
percept.
Oh, just latte.
Well, for right now, and then as you
Okay.
guys enter,
Okay.
you're still around the corner.
Okay.
You goobus.
Alright, don't fuck this
All
up
right.
because
Look.
I can't help you at
I
all.
puff my inhaler while I'm still behind.
You're like through. So Latte, you see again just a slight gleam of the armor as you go around the corner. As you see the cape stuck into the wall to your left, and it seems like he's going behind the monastery.
I'm gonna do the one thing I never thought I would say. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna turn 180 and try to head him off.
Head him off in which direction?
Go
Gonna
behind
go-
the monastery. Go that way.
You're gonna go around. All right. So you move about all the way down to the corner in that sense. Cactus action, because you come around the corner as you see Latte turn on his heels.
I'm gonna keep going the same way I'm going. I
right,
understand
you're
the
gonna keep-
assignment.
All right, you keep going down. So you're about halfway down to the corner as you round about it. Zara, you see Cactus head down, and you see Latte go the opposite direction. What do you do?
Probably follow the cactus just because I want to just go down that alleyway.
All right.
This alleyway.
So you guys get down there. You guys are basically right on top of each other. You are just hustling down as you kind of understand the assignment of what's happening. Latte, you make it around the corner. Give me perception once more with feeling. All right. You can tell that whatever it was is not in this alleyway and did not come this way as you come down around the corner. And you are now looking down the back of the alleyway as you see Cactus and Zarya join you, and it is not there.
Oh shit!
He's in one of the buildings.
So as you guys kind of come down this alleyway, as you're kind of regaining your posture and your breath, you see that most of the buildings to Latte's right are what look to be like houses. The doors all seem to be closed. There seem to be lights inside. You're not hearing anything abnormal, like no shuffling, no breaking stuff, like it's struggling or someone that surprised them. And to Zarya and Cactus's right is just the large backside of the monastery.
Is there an opening to this monastery from here?
There's
Yes.
an entrance.
There is just a door. It's not even hidden entrance, just a door. Fire code is
it
a thing you need to have
unlocked?
multiple entrances and exits. You gotta check it.
Manhole sewer-like things, though. Is what I want to see.
You take a look around and you see that there is a manhole cover beneath the door that leads into the monastery.
God fucking damn it!
Secret tunnel. Secret
The
tunnel.
tunnel
I feel like
through
by
the
now,
mountain.
I feel like by now at least I would have left the apothecary and tried to.
Yes. So
Can
Yeah,
we leave?
we can
Swapping
totally
back.
do.
yeah. So they are now at the back of the monastery. And while that whole chase scene was happening, Zeb came back to you guys with a doctor over his shoulders, sat them down in front of the apothecary and said, "Help." He's able to fully stabilize the apothecary. He's actually rather impressed what you guys did to kind of keep her going. And so she will be fine. He asks Zeb to help her or help them move the apothecary to his clinic. Words are hard.
What are words?
So you help move the apothecary to a clinic. All three of you guys exit the front of the apothecary shop as Zeb just kind of drops her on a stretcher that's inside the clinic that's right across the street. And as you guys step outside, you see Zarya just through a crowd. You see Latte jumping on people with a great sword, and then you see Cactus just mosh pitting his way through people with a purpose
Okay,
as they are
neat.
hustling after somebody.
I'm gonna dash in that direction.
Yep, I'll
All
follow
right.
right with her.
All right, so
Ladasha all the way there.
y'all make it to the edge of the crowd that is starting to disperse as they are very confused as of what just happened. They're kind of standing still. They're not moving as much. And as you guys get to this position, you see Cactus, Zarya, and Latte here, and you see Cactus just yeet a knife in this general direction, and you hear resounding ting as he throws it. As you see Zarya and Cactus go this way, you see Latte turn on his heels and go this way and around, and you guys make it through the crowd.
Yeah.
Now, where do you go?
Okay, so knowing the basics of how the buildings around here seem to be set up with front and back doors, would I be able to draw that maybe this monastery has a back door?
Yes.
I'm going
Fire
into the
code is
fucking
real.
monastery.
We have
Alright.
a history with churches, but damn it, we're gonna keep going in.
So you guys, the three of you guys are in front of the monastery. You guys just go through the front door?
Can I go retrieve Cactus's knife out of the wall and the cloak?
Yes. You
Oh,
go
that's
do that as those two enter the front steps. You're
And
over
then
here.
I'm right behind them.
Yeah,
I'll just
Like,
bust
yeah,
through
grab
the door.
them and go.
Yep. So you three step through the front door as y'all three are now at the back door with a possible manhole. What do
going
now? So before you go down, the manhole's still closed. So
He didn't go down. Well, no, he wouldn't have had
Take
time
a
to put my
second.
cover back on.
Investigation.
investigation.
Yeah, but I'm gonna look at the thing.
I definitely want to know.
Okay, yeah.
It was my idea.
one of you
Investigation
is
is
the
not
time.
my.
Be so kind as to do. I'm not at my computer right now. Can one of you do a 1d20 plus one?
I'll just roll 20 for you.
Please do. Thank you.
All right. So Cactus and Zarya, you guys kind of come across the manhole, and you two see that the dirt is not disturbed because, again, these are mostly cobblestone roads. They're not paved. So there is like dirt and schmutz in certain places. So you can tell the dirt has not been disturbed. That is either on nor around the manhole cover. And you kind of test it, and they are heavy. Like you'd need to either take a second to do it, or you'd make a hell of a lot of noise moving it.
Oh yeah, manhole covers are girthy. You can tell just by looking. Like, is the ground around it damaged? Because those things are heavy.
Yeah. Having had to open them before from experience, yeah. So you two see that is not a thing. Latte, you looking at the door, you see that the back door is ever so slightly open, like the smallest amount. Like whoever came through it just didn't take the time to close it all the way, or if they did, it just didn't latch and just kind of
I'm going in.
reopened.
I'm
Alright.
just going in. Weapon drawn.
All right, so
What I feel like
You-
it's the fucking priest.
I have a feeling it is for priest, actually.
So you step in, and do you kick the door and just push him? Do you just barge in? You're just full aggro, going full ham
I'll
hock.
kick it in just in case he's on the other side of the door.
Cool. So you kick the door open. You are now inside the room. You look inside, and there is a black-clad individual with the plague doctor's mask on, holding what looks to be a very large needle gun to the neck of the priest.
Oh.
The
Okay, it's
priest
definitely
seems to
not
be in less ceremonial clothing. He seemed to have been down here either taking care of relics, taking care of whatever. You don't really have time to look around. You can kind of assume this is possibly where the reliquary is for this specific monastery, that it's just kind of like in the basement.
I was in the
I
reliquary
want to try and
before,
shoot
so-
my bow.
You were
I
in the
did
record
hurt
room.
him.
Yeah. You were in the record room
Put him
upstairs.
down, it's me you
Where?
want anyway, remember?
All right, so you guys are now facing that whole thing. Nate, Zeb, Cass, you enter the church, and there's some people kind of being around there, either lighting candles, sitting in the pews, doing their prayers, whatever, near the big statue, whoever the fuck it is. The priest is nowhere to be found. And as you guys kind of step in and you're walking very quickly down the center, you hear a just big ol' wampus
I'm running.
from the basement.
I heard a ruckus.
I'm running to the basement.
And so you guys find like the little secondary stairway on the side. You're drawing some eyes, but they're just like, okay, these people are weird, as y'all are hauling ass down the stairway.
What?
And
you
as you
never
guys
see
go
6
down,
foot orc run before?
so as you
Milford.
guys hustle down the side stairs and you enter into the reliquary, you see that is very similar to the reliquary in Head Thunder. But as you enter, you find yourself behind the black-clad person and the priest, and the man in the plague mask seems to be
Ooh.
holding a needle gun to the priest's neck.
Can I pull a sneak?
He heard you come down.
Damn
He knows you're there.
Harm him.
Cast Thunderwave.
it!
I need everyone to roll a con save.
I'll clap
Get
my
that
thighs together to get that
No,
thunder
I
wave.
said a while ago I want to try and disarm him
Yeah,
with my bow.
she- So you guys
Okay.
enter.
I'm-
So
I'm good at grappling feet.
hold on. So I'm trying to get this stage wise because you guys are operating at the same time frame. But I'm trying to stage it so everyone's
of us
kind of
at
getting their
once.
feet in. No, stop. So as you guys come in, you guys see that Latte, Cactus, and Zarya are having a standoff with the man in black. And Zarya has her drawn, and the three of you who are behind the guys kind of step to the side
Ooh,
so
duck.
you don't get an arrow to the face. But yeah, so now we're going to swap over to the other three who had first contact. What do now?
As I said, I'm basically it's me you want, not him. And if you do go after him, you're not leaving this place alive. Put him down.
Mhm.
He kind of just tilts his head at you a little bit as
I'll
you
point
say
the sword
that.
at him.
I release my bow towards his hand.
Man, you're bad at this.
So, Zara, you're going to take a shot at his hand
With the gun, yeah.
with the bow? Or his hand with the needle gun? Yes, okay, yes,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
the thing. Make it happen, Captain.
I don't want to see. Do I hit him? 17.
So yeah, you loose an arrow and you kind of hit him in the forearm. And the arrow just kind of goes through it, and you see his arm kind of come back. And as his arm comes back,
You thought you were in this game with me? I've already won as he swings his arm.
back forward and jabs it into the priest.
Well,
Charging forward.
All right. What do now? You guys are now. Everyone is now in initiative combat. He has an arrow through the arm. Latte, you are now up in his biz. The other three of you guys, Nate, Zeb, and Cass, you are now behind him. What
do I
do?
see Nate having my knife?
Possibly. You're
can
not
all-
really looking at Nate.
Can I pull my switchblade? Or
Sure.
sorry, my stiletto.
Yeah, your stiletto flip knife. Yes, you pull in your stiletto flip knife like a fucking 90s gangster. Congratulations.
Look, I need a pokey weapon, okay? I need
All
a
right,
poke.
so
I give him one of my chef knives that I have, since he's right next to me, and I just like
Fuck.
slap it onto his chest. Don't
Fuck it,
lose
we
it.
dual
It's my
wield.
favorite one.
all
Fuck
right,
it, we ball.
so
dual wield.
I'm gonna need everyone to just roll initiative because I want to see if he's gonna go first or y'all gonna go first. All right, so y'all are gonna go first. Just he did not roll super high. All right, so we'll just kind of start from the area. I'm going to split some symbols real quick to make my life easy. Just so I keep track of who's where.
You actually have a map for us?
No,
Nice.
uh,
Nice.
no, I'm just going by the seat of my balls at this one. All right, so Latte, you're first up. What do
Grab a
now?
priest, pull a priest to the side, and swing no. Fuck. Swing sword and try not to hit the priest.
So you're just gonna step in and try and do a sword swing, not hit the priest.
Yeah, if I could take
All
his
right,
arm out, it's actually not a bad idea. That way he
all right.
can't inject me.
Roll to hit. Roll to hit.
Boop. Of course I miss.
Uh-oh.
All right, so you go to swing, and he kind of moves himself to the side as the sword comes down. All right,
I would make sure
next
to look
up.
him right in the eyes.
Mm-hmm. All right, so next up, let's do Cactus then Zarya. Cactus, you have a chef knife. What do?
So he got priest been injected in the neck. Yeah,
From what you can tell, yeah.
it can't do shit about that. Can't save him. Just the only you'd have to cut the fucking carotid.
Uh-huh.
That he's donezo.
Dead.
Sorry, homie.
It's fine.
I'm gonna cast Blade Ward on Solo.
Or a latte?
So until the end of until the end of my next turn, you have resistance, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing.
Oh.
All
That'll
right.
help.
Do you do any attacks there, Chuckles?
No, but I will take the dodge action.
All right, cool.
Whoa, whoa. Cactus is now Smeagol?
No, no, it's just I like to call him Chuckles. All right, Zarya, what do?
I tried to shoot him again with my bow.
Roll to hit. Remember that most of his body is covered by the priest, so you're aiming for the arm. It's gonna be tough.
And a
Roll
latte.
them dice and a lot. Well, you're not that close in because you're
I guess,
using a
do we
great
have a
sword.
battle map, or am I just leaving
Nope.
it over here?
It's just the six of you around one guy. Like you'll be
Okay.
fine.
Theater of the mind.
Look, I like
We're
my
going old
maps.
school. We're going
That's fine.
eye theater, mind's eye theater. Let's go. Let's go.
Fine. I'm just gonna try. Okay.
Just do it. Make it happen.
13.
Also, you release and it whizzes right past his shoulder and just through the glass of a relic. And just, oops. Oopsie.
The collateral damage of destroying
Oh,
relics.
That was-
Can I not?
That was broken before I
I
showed
can't
up.
go hide. Not yet. Oh, okay. That's
All
all
right,
I got.
so Nate, Zeb, and Cass, which one would like to go next in the rear ranks?
I'd like to
but
retry
Zeb-
an old move. I would like to grapple.
Zeb,
All
before
right.
you go, wait. Zeb, wait.
Are you saying that in character, or out of character?
I say that in character. I would like to use my action to use my emboldening bond feature on Zeb and are all of us
Swole
within
get
30
more
feet of each
swole?
other?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
within 30 feet of each other.
I will use it on Zeb and on Fishy. And while you all are within 30 feet of me or within each other, you can add a D4 to an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
Neat.
Unlimited
that's
amount of
my-
times, or
Until it for 10 minutes.
Yeah, so
Fucking
you guys will
based.
have for most of the combat. All right.
Emboldening bond. That's my thing. All right, so let me go first. All right.
All right.
I don't have a bonus action to do really, because
Finger guns.
I'm not wasting my last healing spell on this priest. I don't really give a fuck about him. So
I know, right?
Just
I mean,
finger guns.
he's dead,
Finger
though.
guns as a action.
uh,
Bonus action.
I guess is Latte up on like engaged with this.
He's well within melee range. Yes.
Okay, then I won't get in the way. But that. So that was my action, and I don't have a bonus action. so.
action finger guns.
Bonus action finger guns.
Thank you.
Pachoo!
No confetti.
It looks intimidating. All right,
Hell yeah, brother.
Zeb,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna do a grapple.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Roll me grapple, which I believe is just your
Strength.
big strength.
Strength.
Big strength, not your save, but you're just strong.
Plus a D4.
Plus the D4, yes.
Plus a D4.
Mm-hmm. The little pyramid-looking die.
Also, if you're using Chrome right now, you should use Edge
Mm.
for this.
I
It won't
don't have-
roll
I
that
don't have
slow.
Edge set up. Don't say that.
Well,
All
you're
right,
not
so-
rolling for it. It's faster, or whatever is the opposite. Like it's fast for me in Chrome, but not in Edge. But flip it for other people. Like Nate has to roll an Edge, but not Chrome because it's super slow. I'm just
It's
fun
weird.
fact of the day.
Fun fact.
Interesting.
Confetti. All right,
Confetti.
so Zeb,
Kerchoo.
you roll up behind him and you get him right around the waist as he's kind of distracted by everything going around him, and now you're kind of grappling him and half grappling the priest, both at the waist height, but you got 'ems.
Yeah.
You got some real goods. All right. Now, Cass, last on the board. What you
I'm gonna
want?
try to like claw him.
You're just gonna run up and just get him real good.
I'm gonna try, yeah.
All right. Roll that get him good.
Probably didn't get him.
So you got him in the back left shoulder,
Heck
but
yeah.
when you do your damage, but it's halved because you're hitting him in something hard and shiny underneath
Oh,
that
man,
plate of
I'm
his.
already not gonna do much damage.
Oh no! Oh, no.
Zero!
You
He knows
booped him
I'm
real
there.
good. He knows you're there.
When you fuck around and deal 1 damage.
Bro.
So he's kind of stuck in a shitty situation. He's gonna
You
try and
scratched him
break the
good.
grapple.
Just like us.
He's not gonna be able to break the grapple, just based off his dice roll. So he's kind of stuck with the priest on one side, and then Zeb kind of squeezing him together like a sandwich.
Somebody take the pre-suck and suplex his ass.
So
But
he's
you're
gonna
the
try and
suplex the
reach
priest?
back.
No, get rid of the
He's gonna
pre-suck
try-
and suplex the bad guy.
What's your
Let
AC,
DM
Zeb?
speak.
Zeb, what's your AC?
What's my AC? I don't know. What is my AC?
How'd you
It says
cheat?
it on the sheet.
It's the
says
number in the
AC.
shield. It says armor class.
Fuck. 12.
All right, so you see the plague doctor reach back and try to stab Zeb with the needle gun, but
Oh.
miss.
Heh.
As you just kind of like move your shoulder, and he's like, "Nyeh." And is he gonna be able to sleight of hand the gadget?
I could.
No, not the fuck at all, because he is being squazzled.
Mm.
Not, you said that. Not the
You're
fuck
doing
at
my
all.
next action.
Yeah. All right, so same rotation, but better. Latte.
I'm gonna grab his arm with a needle gun. I'm gonna use the weight of a great sword to try to break his forearm.
All right. Roll me grapple with advantage because he's already grappled.
1 moment. How do you set up advantage normally?
You just
Oh, you just roll twice.
you just roll it twice, take the
So it's just
highest,
strength with
Or-
advantage.
Or you can right click
or you can right click.
on the
yeah.
dice and it'll say roll.
I
with
did not know
advantage.
that.
Plus advantage. You got a dirty 20. Yeah, you're able to fucking grapple his arm, and you're able to do it.
Breaking his fucking arm.
So give me a
Thank you, Sin.
athletics to see if you can just straight up break it. See if you have the goods.
Damn.
Yeah, you have the goods. You break it at the elbow and he drops the needle gun. All right, Cactus. You
I'm gonna
see
yell to-
Latte just fuck up this dude's arm real good.
I'm gonna yell to Nate, grab his soul before we
Grab
leave.
his
grab his
soul.
Yeah,
What?
Can't we do
And
that
I'm
after
gonna
we?
That
go
was
for the. I'm gonna
metal
go for the
as
needle gun.
fuck.
I'm gonna go for the needle gun.
All right, you're gonna go for the needle gun. All right, give me athletics to get through everything.
13.
You get there and you got it, but you can't do anything else.
Can I use my bonus action for reactivating Blade Ward on Solo?
Your bonus action was picking up the needle gun.
Oh, I wasn't even trying to pick it up. I'm trying to get it away from him.
All right, well, you
Oh, you know what? Fuck
slid
it,
into
no,
it,
fuck
and
we
it's
ball. No, fuck it, we ball. I'll grab the needle gun.
all right. Cool. Yeah, you got the needle gun. All right, you got the thing. All right, Zarya, you see that the man's arm has been the brokes. You see Cactus has dove underneath Zarya and pushed the needle gun away. You see that Zeb is grappling him. Zarya, Jesus. Cass has hit him in the other arm, and then Nate is just like prepped in the background, ready to fucking rumble. What do?
Is the
I
priest still
think the
being
bad
grabbed
boy
by
yet
the bad
again.
guy?
You're gonna fire another arrow at him?
Yeah.
All right. Yes, fire the arrow. I'm doing brain math.
Plus a D4.
All right.
Oh wait.
No, yeah, you get your D4.
Oh, a D4.
Yeah, you
You
get your
even
D4.
need it?
Can I roll it for attack though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean
It's
damage.
it's a thing.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
not for damage, but you
Oh,
can
okay.
roll it to do
I
it.
super stab him with my
So,
arrow.
so
Hmm.
you loose your arrow. The only spot you can really see him that doesn't have a person near it is like his center mass of his upper torso, his lower part of his neck. And you just unleash a short bow arrow from within 40 feet just into that fucking sweet spot right above his sternum. And you hear it just and he just starts choking as he's now had his arm broken, cut by a cat, grappled by an orc. He's been cut and now has an arrow through his chest. He's not having a good time.
He had a bad day.
Nate, my guy, what
It's like-
do?
Complete 180 from that last time we were in this
I
situation.
would like to run up to him and rip. He has like the Plague Doctor mask on, right?
Yes.
I want to rip that off of his face.
Okay.
And then put my hand on his face and steal his crystals, man.
Which one do you want to steal? You're not gonna have that long.
Well,
The artificer.
I don't. What are his crystal? What is he? What is he? When I get in there.
So when you pull his mask off, the first thing you see is that his face doesn't look like a normal-esque face. It looks more like a Draugr.
Ooh.
He like his skin is receded and pulled back. You can clearly see his teeth. His eyes are sunken in. He looks just very like emaciated. And you just throw your hand like Shadow of War style onto his face, like branding an Uruk-hai, and you see nothing.
Probably too high level. Oh no, because last time you got to see at least what level.
I see nothing.
Yep.
Well, he's not willing.
No, it's not that he's not willing. It's that Nate has the ability to just basically either see the levels of creatures, or if he can forcefully pull, but it has a lot more dire consequences than from a willing participant.
There's
So
nothing to pull.
there's nothing to pull out of this thing.
Okay.
Touch his face.
Was that my action or?
I'll count that as your bonus. Do you
Alright,
want a
then-
regular action?
I'll just like pull my hand back and just punch him right in the nose.
There you go. Roll that punch.
Unarmed.
Yeah.
Ayo.
All right, you punch him square in the mouth bits. You just right in the face, just right in there.
Three bludgeoning damage
Nice.
with these dwarvish hams.
All right, and since Zeb has him grappled, I'm gonna swap to Cass just to let her get her action, and then I'm gonna swap to Zeb for the finale. Cass, what you got? Cass.
Oh no, she gone.
I'm gonna
Oh,
punch
no.
him too, but it's not gonna do any damage because I do 0 bludgeoning damage with my
I
unarmed
mean, you
strike.
got like
Wait,
a
your
you
claws
got like
actually
a
have a
sword.
damage roll.
Yeah, but she
Yeah,
has
they do.
minus
Yeah, but
one.
it's minus.
But it's I have -1.
You might do one
I
damage.
have one, but it's just
Just
Should I?
do it.
Should I?
Do it. Do
Oh,
it.
I guess I'll claws then. I'll try to claws.
Baby
Nice. You hit.
claws.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
I do.
Oh wait,
Nice. Nice.
wait, I never rolled for damage for my bow.
I rolled average. You're fine.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you.
That's fine. That's fine.
Where you hit him did well enough. You
Okay,
got
okay,
him.
okay. That's fine.
And then Zeb for the finale.
Is the priest still being grabbed by this dude?
He's no longer really being grabbed. You're kind of half holding him. He just kind of flumps out of your grip.
Awesome. I'm
And falls
suplexing
forward
his
onto
ass
the ground.
backwards.
All right, give me the big strength. You're going for the big Macho Man Randy Savage suplex.
Hell yeah.
You can add a D4.
Add that D4 once it registers. Fucking get in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
easy. Oh no!
Damn it, that was
Oh,
18.
I'm gonna. You know what?
4 ain't gonna help.
I will give you this roll advantage because he is fucked up. Give me that sweet advan.
Oh, another d20 plus.
Yeah,
Another
roll that
D20?
D20 and take the better result. And then plus that 3 to whatever it is. Do it, do it, do it, do it. All right. So with the 12, you are able to overcome his broken body and just perform the schmexiest of suplexes. Where when you do it, you hear the crunch noise of his vertebra when you just slam him into the rock behind you, and it is just perfect form. Like it is amazing to see this 7-foot green monster just go, "Bah!" and he just goes down.
Then you just hear like
hear
this.
the crack, and his body goes limp.
Everyone hears like this voice in their head that just goes, overkill.
I think we won your fucking game.
That's actually a better ending. There
That's
you
a good
go.
one-liner.
That was
That's actually-
good.
I'm actually impressed. It's a good one-liner.
That was very
Yeah.
All right,
good.
so as the priest is on the ground and the thing has been broken, you guys kind of collect yourselves and see that you're in the reliquary. It's full of human artifacts and such along that line. And some glass has been broken, things have been moved, what have you. You see that Cactus now has the needle gun in his hands.
Disarm it.
Do you inspect it?
Yes, of course I'm expecting.
We should.
The vial seems empty. Roll me
no shit, it's empty.
investigation.
$18.
It was never filled.
Damn.
It's the priest. Get the priest.
Wait, the priest isn't.
Get the priest. Get him.
Yeah, he ain't gonna die.
Cactus gonna say anything?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Put my blade right up against the priest's neck. He's playing dead. I'm gonna call his bluff.
As you touch the sword to his neck, you hear his skin start to sizzle, and the blade gets hot in your hands.
Oh shit.
Get up, coward.
The priest rolls over with a bit of a smirk rolling onto his back, kind of touching the wound on the side of his neck. Roll me perception, Latte.
I didn't roll it good enough.
So with that, you're able to at least see the wound that was in his neck isn't bleeding.
Mm.
And so he stands up, rubbing his neck, and he goes, "Ah, that madman. I thought he had me dead to rights. it seems that I have all of you to thank for me now having this nice soreness in my neck.
You know, if there is anyone who would be knowledgeable on how to make a poison akin to this, well, point the sword right at his face. It would be a
So,
drow.
so while you're pointing the sword at him and you're going through the accusations, I need Zarya and Nate and Cass to roll me intelligence really quickly.
Saving throw or just straight intel?
Just straight intelligence.
Oh shoot, I'm smart today.
Oh my god, the cat has gotten smart.
I got
We-
smart, guys.
So
We give your PNG some
Zarya,
glasses.
Zarya and Nate, you guys think back to the marks you saw on the people that were killed, and you realize that the fresh ones had a singular mark from a needle injection. It isn't until Cass kind of puts two and two together that you never counted the number of holes in the injection points on certain other individuals, mainly Chuckles. Which Cass, in her brilliant mind blast of brilliance, realizes that there was two next to each other. About the space that would be found from fangs.
Wait. I'm gonna share this with the party, but it's gonna be more like motherfucking blood drinker.
Oh.
He's a fucking vampire.
Represent my neck. I'm just
You.
kidding.
The fucking priest is a vampire, aren't you?
He smiles, and you see two very pronounced canines. And Latte, in your head, the sword is saying, "He has sinned, cast him down. The undying king demands it."
Now,
And
we
that's
don't
where we
have-
leave you.
We don't necessarily have to fight right now.
That's a huge cliffhanger.
That's it right there. Is that you are now facing down the vampire priest. As you guys have followed the mystery, you solved it relatively quickly. Cactus came in clutch, telling you there was cyanide, which led you guys to the apothecary.
Oh, and
which,
why he doesn't
super
have
proud.
windows. He never knows what it's like outside.
You'll have
My
to figure
brain
out.
came in handy for once.
You'll have to figure out what's going on with that Draugr. But you guys found the man in black. You followed the trail. You actually did a really good job of kind of getting everywhere from point A to point B. And you're now facing down a vampire priest.
Okay.
And that's where we leave you as
Go
Latte
have
Sword
bad time.
tells him,
He had his glasses.
which,
Bitch, I wanna...
which at that point, now,
Since
so-
I have reactive setup, it updates when I update.
so, and just to let you guys all kind of hear, what was said. Also, I can see your glasses now, and you oofed me. You oofed me real good. I can see him, and it makes me giggle. Anyway, leave you with the saying that comes from Latte's sword, which was, "He has sinned, cast him down in the name of the undying king."
Oh shit.
And that's where the session ends.